Good. Num num numbing. Hello, YouTube. I hope you're all doing well. You can hear from my voice that I'm not doing so hot, but I'm okay, I promise. It's just the common cold has come to kick my ass. And it's done a number on my throat a little bit. But I am better than I feel a bit better than I did yesterday. Yesterday I had a very mean headache, whilst today it's mostly just my throat that's a bit off. Oh, and a runny nose, what can you do about that? Additionally, I said I was going to do another Genshin stream. I was going to stream over the weekend, but Saturday was exhaustion. They're not aware that it was because it was a build-up of whatever this is. And then yesterday it was the illness. You know, it was like, Saturday was, oh man, I feel really tired. I think I'm going to take today off from streaming, just to be on the safe side. Sunday was, oh pain. Oh pain. But I said on Monday I'd come back and do more Genshin, so... Yeah, the idea of doing another Kremakana and Honkai Star Rail stream over the weekend didn't pan out, but to be honest, considering I was always planning to stream today as well, it would have been 8 streams in a row, so I think I would have been exhausted anyway. Additionally, I am taking tomorrow off as well, but that's mostly just to make sure, like, I do fully recover, that I don't push my luck, basically. And we'll be back on Wednesday for Star Rail, because I believe that is when the update drops. We won't be doing the 1.5 stuff because we still haven't gone through the game, but it's a good a day as any to do more streaming. So I probably won't call it like 1.5 the way I call like the Genshin streams. You know, 4.1 day 2, 4.2 day 4 now, whatever. You know, like I probably won't do that with Star Rail, at least not anytime soon. If I get completely caught up in the story before 2.0 drops, then when 2.0 drops I'll call it that, but that's when we get to Star Rail. I digress though. Last time we left off... we did all of the story stuff. We've done Furina's quest, and we've done the main Archon quest, obviously. Furina is now in my party. I don't know whether she'll be permanent. And she's not maxed out yet. She's level 80. So I haven't completely finished yet, but she's good enough to survive. So I need to do more rounds of the boss, and I need to get more Lake Light Lilies. Which, there's a lot of spots for them, to be fair. I managed to build up pretty quick. It's just I don't do co-op, so I haven't gone into other worlds to, like, rob them of theirs. You know, like, I haven't gone running around. But I'm pretty happy with the artifact set. I got a new... I forget what he said. The Sands of Eon, like, the new Hourglass. That was pretty good, so I could get away with having my off-piece be the Feather instead. And I was quite happy with it because it's more health. Furina's health is currently at 39k, but when...
Oh, brilliant!
when you're in the motion and you have the fanfare going with like the ult and whatnot, this guy will overheal and Furina's health goes to like 43k. It's great. But yeah, I am going to try and keep Furina on for a while. So she's not at the peak yet, but she is getting there. Today's priority is mostly going to be side questing, so we'll start with the small one. Where is that? Oh, I see, it's down here. Oh, it's down here, got it. We'll start with the little one and basically just work our way up. Because the 2 big ones that we have, if I highlight them. This one was the Steambird itself has gone missing, so it's an investigation. And this one is finishing off the Narzuzenkreuz. Which, for those who are unaware, because I didn't cover all of them, every major world quest in Fontaine, well, almost everyone, because I don't think this one is, ultimately leads to you learning something new about the Narzuzenkreuz. And usually it's to do with the people or the machines that were involved in it, sort of thing. Like, in the area we had a quest where it's like one of the Melsalins had a pet, like, Robo dog, but it could talk. That thing was from the Narzuzenkreuz originally, so when you do the quest line to the end, you eventually learn more about it. The quest line that we started in 4.0, that's here, where you go, like, help the Oceanids, like, stage their little war, and then eventually you get lost in the maze and end up in this little garden space. That's tied to Narzuzenkreuz. Like, every single quest has something to do with that. So, I do want to see where that ends when we go back to the Narzuzenkreuz Ordo later on. Oh, where are we going? Oh, whoops, you're not the one I wanted to talk to. I've got other things to do, don't mind me. You.
Emmy, Paimon, it's been a while. Are you looking for the same strange rocks as last time? Oh, we are, but there's something else too.
You give Chisel's prototype clock to Puka and tell her about Chisel's plan to make clocks using the strange ore.
Amazing. They can make things like these out of those rocks? Only the bits inside are made from that stone. You can even hear it ticking underwater. I've never seen a clock like this. Jessel talked about it having an oyster-style structure, or was it clam-style? I'm just happy hearing that sound come from a clock. I never imagined that an even ordinary sounds like this would be suited for something. I always thought that you had to be like my sister, and only the rarest of gemstones could be turned into treasures. I never thought that you could also make something incredible with such ordinary rocks. Oh, everything has its value and purpose. I suddenly feel really good about myself.
Puka carefully places the clock in a nice place.
Okay, now all you have to do is get the ore ready and sell it to Chisel when he needs it. Then you'll even be able to have your own gemstone workshop, just like your sister. You've collected lots of different stones after all. Maybe you'll be able to find a use for each and every one of them. Right, I'll definitely make preparations for that. Thank you so much. If you ever need any rocks, come find me anytime. Oh, don't mention it.
Oh, that's it? Oh, I thought there'd be more to that. Well, well. Oh, right, it's the thing sent me do that. But that's not what we're going to do next. We're going to help explore the steam bird. Or find where the steam bird's got to. Additionally, this is the first time I've actually really used a Fontanian character. And so I wasn't really aware that Fontanian characters, if you like speed swim up to the surface, they fly out the water. They don't just surface. And Furina does a little spin when she comes out the water. It's unique to her. Everyone else just kind of comes out the water. So it's like, that's cute. But yeah, we actually started this quest a little on the hurry. Like, very near the end of, I think, either day 1 or day 2. But yeah, essentially, the steam bird's gone missing, and we can do a crime scene investigation to find out more. So it should be here, but it's just gone. And we were looking for clues, but I didn't bother finding all the clues, because I'd already kind of... I was like, it was like very late into the stream at that point. Unless it would have been opened, the writer desires have displayed in hand.
Bro doesn't get it. What is his letter?
Let's record it in our investigation notes first.
Have you searched the entire scene? Are you sure you haven't missed anything? We got so much evidence. Footprints, a bottle. Paimon's brain is almost fried. Let's think, Emmy. Does it give us any leads? Maybe something that tells us what to do next?
A dirty, empty wine bottle, which wafts a strange smell, like a sea filled with salty fish. Footprints of a different depths, with different patterns, intertwined and overlapping. They should belong to 4 different individuals. A common button, with signs of its thread snapped. Testimony from a resident near the Steambird. If you're asking about anyone suspicious, I did often see a homeless drunk hanging around near the entrance of the paper's office. Especially lately, he seems to be sleeping there every night. Testimony from the resident near the Steambird. A drunken vagrant? Oh, I know him. That's Rocha. That should be Rocher. Because French. That's Rocher. I've seen him near the docks. He's always, begging for a drink from the vendors here. Honestly, he wasn't like this before. Since we're resident of the Steambird, if you're asking about anyone suspicious, I did often see a kid going to the paper's office, but he never goes inside. He just mosey around near Sir Arthur. Maybe he likes toys for that. Oh, I was close. I had a feeling I was going to do it. Is it the kid? No. Is it the photo? It is, okay. Because I was like, hey, it's 2 people backing up the same thing, but no, it's a photo saying, like, showing that there was a group of people, and then the note saying that he might, yeah. Things are a bit clearer now, but Paimon's not sure anything we found is very useful. Paimon guesses the best lead is that vagrant Rocher. I agree. One set of footprints must be his, right? And he sounds like the most suspicious. Why so?
Well, he's a vagrant, and vagrants are meant to wander about. But he stays in one place. He's definitely up to something.
I guess that makes a little sense.
Trust me, I'm right. Let's go and check out the docks. Someone said they saw him there.
And the last thing we picked up just then was the unsealed letter. Alright, to the pier we go. Imagine, like, trying to steal a robotic bird, and then the person who comes to interrogate you is the former Hydro goddess. You know, Furina just shows up.
Right, listen here, criminal scum. You will answer to Furina da Fontaine. I have a vision now, so I can beat you up.
Men, Rocher has to be hiding here somewhere. He owes, so he has to pay. Find him for me. And if he's not paying his debt... And as if not paying his debts wasn't enough, he made me chase after him. I'm gonna trash his place and break his legs. What are you barking at?
Stop, what are you doing?
Who are you? Mind your own business.
Director 42, look at the uniform. They're the Marche's Phantom. Maybe we should fall back.
I don't care who they are. Steel yourself, men, with me.
Alright, Furina, your time to shine.
Illusion shutter.
God, they got 23 damage. Traveletta just yanked, you lobbed into their face. Once again, she's not maxed out at all. She's quite a distance away from it, actually. Director 42, the blonde one of the robots are difficult to handle.
Blasted mud, I slipped and fell. Guess Rocher got lucky. Okay, lads, move.
I see, you're a fighter, Emmy. Oh, that's nothing for her.
Woof woof.
Oh, no need to thank me, pub. We're looking for your master.
Does he owe people money?
Hey, listen, pub. Your master took Sir Arthur to pay off a debt, right? Spit it out. Where is he hiding?
In my humble analysis, this line of questioning will fail due to language incompatibilities. Bobby looks at you just to say, yeah, obviously.
Then let's search the area. The thief must be here somewhere.
But yeah, Furina, similar to Rain Shogun, it's more about you drop it and then you get rid of her. Because when her elemental skill is in effect, everyone else gets a damage bonus and these guys will attack things. And then every now and then you swap Furina back in to either bring them back to light or to drop her special so you can get... or so you can drop her ult so you can get the bonuses of the fanfare. Or, if you're getting low on health, you can do this.
I present.
And she will stop, and this will start passively healing. You know, I just realized I had nearly 1,000 of my my roasts at one point, and now I'm like below 500. Whoops. Aw, a picture of a loving couple.
Is this Rocher and his wife?
Damn it. God damn it, Star Rail, making me press X to interact with things. Ragged old clothes from who knows where, emitting an odd smell. Nothing there. Piles of dirty, empty wine bottles. A pile of dirty, empty wine bottles from which a strange smell wafts, like a sea filled with salty fish.
Those bottles! We found one of them by the steambird.
What's the puppy doing? What the dog doing? Is it leading us to that shell?
Oh, there's someone hiding in the chest!
Don't hit me!
So you're Rocher?
I don't have any more, not a single coin.
It's okay, we chased the debt collectors off.
Oh, wonderful. And what a charming young Melicin you are.
You are right, I am Rocher. And when I make it big, I won't forget to reward you generously.
Dream on, you thief. We're with the Marechaussee Phantom, and we're here to arrest you. You stole Sir Arthur last night, didn't you? Confess. Who did you sell it to?
Me? Stole Sir Arthur? By the Hydro Archon, as if a person of my standing would do such a thing. And I've been hiding in his chair since yesterday evening.
Oh, really? Curve, what's your verdict?
Biodata anomaly identified. Mr. Rocher, you are lying.
Me lying? Nonsense. Calumny. Slander. Where's the evidence?
The bottle by the steambird?
We found a bottle by the steambird, just like these ones. You left it there, right?
Even if the bottle is the same, doesn't mean I left it there. Why, a place the size of Fontaine must be full of drunkards like me.
Result replicated. Biodata anomaly identified. Mr. Rocher, you are lying.
What is with this metal bucket? If I'm going to have my honesty and nobility smeared, I want it by an actual person.
Less shouting. Listen here, thief. We're going to turn this place upside down and shake it to see if there's any evidence falls out. So no crying when we find something.
Look, without real evidence, all you can do is insult me.
Poppy looks at you as if waiting for something. I don't know if we have what you want, my friend. It won't be of any use for something else. Hey, one man, hope you're doing well. Is it the bottles? If I make it sniff the bottle, it will follow it back. I come in and that's the first thing... Wait, what was it you came into? Woof, woof! What's he doing? I said, give me your Furina so I can have my team. No. She's not even maxed out yet. Her talents still need to be worked on, and she's level 80, not 90.
I know. He must have recognized the scent. The bottle must have Rocher's scent on it.
Lombroso, did you have to...
Rocher, see, the dog recognizes your scent. Do you still deny that you were at the newspaper office?
Okay, calm down with you, and Lombroso, you traitor.
Lombroso wags his tail happily, as if saying, I don't understand.
Ugh, okay, I admit it.
Wow, Curve, you were spot on. How did you know? Can you detect liars?
Correct, Miss Paimon.
Really? You're a lie detector?
Hey, didn't we talk about prying into other people's private lives? Get to know us first. Hurry up and come clean, Rocher. What did you do?
But that's my private life, isn't it?
How dare you? Fess up or you'll enjoy plenty of privacy in the fortress of Meripede.
No! Okay, I admit I've told a few tiny little lies, but I didn't steal Sir Arthur, honest. I slept by the steambird's entrance last night, that's all. When I went to sleep, Sir Arthur was there. But then I woke up and it was gone. And I was worried people would suspect me, so I ran. What's up? I've just got a message saying Ayo. Is everything okay? What's up? That's not true. I was hoping to get some work there. You know, start off picking up litter. And maybe some bigwig might spot your potential and then whoosh, your career takes off. My previous messages. Let me... Oh, you... Do I need to put my chat filters to all messages again? No? Okay, let me go check the message line. Hang on 1 minute. My guy. The last message I have is that this image is everything. Where you got, where you started Furina, the Fontaine story arc. But yeah, no, I got you, mate. I've responded, didn't I? I said, because you went, bruh, I come in that's the first thing you say. And I went, what did I say? And I said, no, I'm not giving you my Furina. So I was hoping to get some work there, you know? Start off picking up litter, yada yada.
Seems like you were the one causing the litter with your stinky wine bottles. That's not going to impress any bigwigs, that's for sure. Oh, you confused me. I don't believe it. He's lying again.
But why? It's not like you're going to use her. She's on my main party, dude. At least for now. Let me finish. I know how I look now, but I used to work at the Palace Memonia, sorry. To be fair, my throat is gone. My throat is shot a little bit, so it might be, like, lost in translation a little bit. Some of the things I say. Anyway, well, it was my wife that got me the job. Her family used to be a big deal, and they still have some connections. Anyway, I used to be respectable. Really? I'm not sure which is worse, begging for food or relying on your wife. Don't say that. I want to become successful under my own steam. Obviously, but that's when the problems started. That's when the problems started. Rest your throat. Now, I don't mind doing it. A while back, some people offered to let me in on their business. Don't worry about startup funds, they said. You can owe us, so I signed up. But I soon realized that the goods they were giving me were unsellable garbage, and then they started demanding I pay what I owed them. So you were scammed, buddy. Were those the people who were here? Yeah, I didn't have any choice but to pawn things from home to get some money. But I didn't realize that what I had taken belonged to my wife, something her grandfather left her. When she realized this, I was too scared to tell her the truth. So I said that I'd lost money gambling. She was furious and threw me out. Then why not tell her the truth? Maybe she'd have forgiven you if she'd known. What does this guy know about telling the truth? If he claimed he lost it gambling, he could blame bad luck. If he lost it on a bad business deal, he'd have to admit to being a good-for-nothing loser. Jesus Christ, Talishard. Let's say it how it is. But what does this have to do with the newspaper? A month ago, the Steambird reported on a team of scammers, the Elegant Tableware Confrérie. Those were the people who conned me, professional con artists. Wow, the Steambird's pretty good at their job, huh? I know, that's why I wanted to work there. It would have been a respectable job, and I could have earned enough to get my wife's things back. Curve, is that true? Biodata has returned to normal range. Mr. Rocher is not lying. That's my best robot voice. So it really wasn't him. Ugh. So did you see anything suspicious last night? I did. I was woken up by some noise, and I think I saw someone. Someone very small running away. That's suspicious, right? Someone small. The statements from the residents mentioned a young boy. It could be him. But where would we find him? If only we had a puppy to show us the way again. Lombroso wags his tail happily. He seems to know he's being talked about. Now that you mention it, Lombroso has an excellent sense of smell. Won't we see if he can pick up a scent? Paimon's not sure if it will work, but it's worth a try. Whoops. I'm used to Star Rail. I've got too used to Star Rail where X is the interact button. So you're going to see me jump in front of people a lot. It's like I'm playing Final Fantasy 16 again. Is it the button? Alright, I think so. Hey, hang on. Yeah, because whilst we're doing this, my Furina, she's level 80 now. I haven't like ascended her the last time because I need to go beat the Hydrotopus a few more times, and I also need to get a bunch more Lake Lilies. But her talents are coming along. The only thing holding it back is that she requires the Narwhal's loot, so I can only get so much of that per week, so it'll take a while before that's maxed out. I can only really get 2 of them per week because you know you only get the loot once per week, and I have to wait for the boss to refresh. Which, to be fair, it's Monday today, so it's refreshed, so I can go do that and get a few more. Her artifact set I'm pretty happy with for now. I might rearrange and rework a couple of it, but I'm pretty happy as it for like a starting. The reason why I said that that image was everything is Lumine's reaction. Yeah, something that I genuinely love is that as the game's got on, the animating, like the animations for like the facial models And like the facial rigging, has just got better and better. When you compare it to what it was like when Genshin first came out, all the characters kind of had like a very like rigid emotive set, you know? Like it was either they were neutral, they were angry, or they were sad, and there was nothing in between. Whilst now they have a whole variety, and they seem to be a lot cleaner animations and more expressiveness across everything. So it's like Lumine feels way more expressive now than she ever used to, and it's brilliant. I love it. Well, everyone does, to be fair. It's just Protags, Lumine, and Aoife get special attention because obviously they're the faces you see the most. Ugh. The puppy has stopped. Could the owner of the button live here nearby? Look, there's someone at home in that house over there. Let's go ask.
Shower me with praise.
Go on, gang. Fight them. Is it because the enemy's not aggroed on us that these guys aren't joining in?
Strike a pose.
It is as well. It's because this thing's not aggroed to me. These guys aren't joining the fight. It's like, no. We only attack things that attack us. Like this, apparently. Okay. Furina, you need to talk to your friends and tell them like to get their priorities straight. And also to top up the healing of my party. So we're not building Run Shogun. The only problem is that with Furina in my team, 2 members of my party's sole purpose is to come in, drop their skill, and then leave. And then when their energy's built up, come back in, drop their ultimate, and then return to leaving. Because Furina, her pets, not only do her pets do more damage, but your teammates will do more damage if Furina's skill is out. So you drop her skill, and these do more damage, and then say Eula, for example, will do more damage with it. The Rain Shogun, you do this, and everyone's getting energy whilst you're fighting with other characters. I have no idea what these guys' problem is, though, with this thing. Well, Beta can be pretty good. You just gotta build her. The only thing you have to be careful though is with Furina, is that once you do like the health charge, if you swap back to this, when they're attacking things, they will take back what they gave you. So it's like everyone else started dropping in health, like Hu Tao's back to not really being full, because they take back what they gave you. So you have to be careful because Furina could inadvertently kill the party. Furina is my element party of Risley, Furina, Charlotte, and Xingqiao. Yeah, fair enough. You have to like balance her out. If you keep her in healing mode and then immediately swap her to aggressive, the aggressive like buddies will do a lot of damage and like jump in and like start attacking. But she can drain from your party members, so it's like it's a give and take. How? Well, you just put her on healing mode then. You only put her in aggressive mode when you're ready. That's the thing. I don't know anything. Also, I hate you all. And with fanfare, it kind of makes it null and void. Because fanfare in aggressive mode gives her all the benefits without hurting the party, and fanfare on healing makes her overheal. She can overflow her healing, which means
if someone has like 40,000 health and they're on 39,000 and it heals for 5k, their health will go up to 34. Their health will go beyond. It will go to 44, sorry. She can, in fanfare, which is her burst, by the way, she can overflow everything. And considering Furina's damage is scaled on health, overflowing her healing is literally self-sufficient. You overflow her healing, her attack and her healing gets better. Don't run, Kevin. Sorry to interrupt. What do you guys want? Don't worry, madam. We're agents from the Mauritius Phantom, and we're investigating a thief. A button linked to your family was found at the scene. Do you have any comments? Oh, I sewed that on to Kevin just recently. But Kevin's a good child. He couldn't possibly be mixed up in theft. Hey, Fable. Hope you're doing well. I knew it. Madam, I regret to say you raised a thief. Please be reasonable, agent. Even if this is Kevin's button, all this proves is that he was at the newspaper office. And why would he be there if not to steal? Did you just say newspaper office? Yeah, how did you know that's where the theft happened? Decent Sedine impression. Is it just because I'm British? No, you must have misheard me. Ironclad, irrefutable evidence. Don't try and lie your way out of this. You'll only make things worse for you and for your son. No, my son didn't mean to steal anything. He only took that knife to defend himself. Knife? I thought we were looking into the mechanical steambird. You mean Sir Arthur? But Kevin only had a knife when he came home. Madam Madeline, why did your son go to the newspaper? What did he do there? Tell us everything. Yeah, alright. Oh, my Kevin just adores that steambird outside of the newspaper office. Every time we go into town, he goes to visit it and tells us all his troubles. Yesterday evening, we had a bit of a fight and Kevin stormed off to the newspaper office. But this time, he came back with a knife. What have you got there? A knife! No! He said he found it stuck in a steambird's pedestal. So that explains the notch, but why did he take the knife? He said he noticed that Sir Arthur was missing, wanted to find it, but then some drunken man staggered towards him, so he got scared and picked up the knife. It's not British per se, it's just regal. Like, it's not completely stiff upper lipped, but it's, oh, then we must investigate this post haste. Like, it's a sharpness, like a regality to it, but it's not quite British. Well, Mona is more Mona Magistus. I am the astrologer beyond the stars, the great and almighty. Could we see the knife? I told him to get rid of it. I was worried it might cause trouble. The knife could be a clue. We need to ask Kevin where it is. I wish you could, but he's run off again. We're arguing a lot at the moment about his father. You see, his father's a mechanical engineer posted outside the city. Kevin hasn't seen him for a long time. He's having a bit of an early rebellious phase. He's furious with his father for not being here. A problem child, huh? Not easy to deal with. Still, we need to find him and ask about that knife. After the Archon quest, I want Sedine as my official therapist after the Deep Lions sheet. Yeah. After the Archon quest, I want Furina to move in with me just so she can get free cuddles whenever the fuck she wants. Hey, what's up, Furina? You doing okay? Oh, I'm just feeling a little under the weather right now. You know what that means? Movie night and cuddles. Come over here. Like, you know, I just want to protect and look after her so bad.
There is no escape.
Oh, the cake, yeah.
Who are you? Why are you making such an unholy racket? You might want to try saying thanks. We just saved you.
Thanks. What's up? Why the angry face? You gonna hit me?
Kid, a thumping would do you good.
Jesus Christ, Talishard. It's like, some kids deserve to be smacked.
The Mauritius Phantom agents, we don't beat people in public. But we do need to ask you some questions. If you keep anything from us, we'll have to take you in. And then, well, we won't be in public, will we? Is he just threatened to beat this kid up? We're going to take you behind closed doors and beat the shit out of you.
Take me in? Yeah, sure, go ahead. Take him in, too. And him? Who's that? Bolland, that's his name. You should arrest him, too.
Is that your father?
I wish he wasn't. I hadn't seen him for a year. No wonder Madame Madeline said this guy used to complain to Sir Arthur. Paimon guessed that's the root of the problem?
Working Archons Fontaine and Liyue since Zhongli relinquished his title. Yeah, but in both instances, in Fontaine, Nervalet's kind of filling in the void because, you know, he's the Dragon Sovereign, but that got a large chunk of his power back. And in Zhongli's case, the people proved they could look after themselves, but they're still under Ningguang's guidance in the Jade Chamber, regardless sort of thing. So that even though they don't have it, they still have someone of authority and a collective ability to kind of proceed onwards. The real crazy thing when we get to Natlan, if they're all at war with each other, and there's all this shit about resurrecting the dead, and there's dragons, it's like, what's going on in that nation? Like, what's going to be happening with the people and the, like, you know, the linear, like, the path of power and all that shit? Like, what's going on there? I will have order. Nervalet, hold my Aquafina.
Complaint, that's a laugh. I was working out how to set up my his speech patterns. You haven't realised, I guess that's everything it says is programmed in advance.
I'm telling you, Natlan's going to be unhinged. I hope so. It's a legit two different apocalypses, yeah. Hey, Land of Dragons. They can resurrect the dead. The Nation of War. What the fuck?
And the thing is that we've got more breadcrumbs on some of the Harbingers, and now I'm a little bit more convinced that Columbina might show up in Natlan. The reason being is that we've learned that Columbina, you know, the girl who's her eyes closed, has like the angel wings coming out of her hair, she apparently can resurrect the dead. She has the ability to reach out to and talk to the dead and then bring their souls back to the surface. If Natlan's all about resurrecting the dead, it makes sense to have Columbina there. Right? I'm not the only one that thinks that, right? It makes sense to have her there. We already know the captain's going to be there, but we're also, like, only got 2 regions left, and there's a lot of Harbingers we still haven't met. So having 2 new Harbingers there would make sense. You know? Like, have the captain show up and be, like, front center stage, and in the background have Columbina doing her angelhood shit. And Snezhnaya will be Game of Thrones, and Natlan will be turning dragons into Archon gods. Yeah, potentially. And heck, if it's a nation of war, Tartaglia Child will not be able to help himself. That guy will have the quickest recovery process mankind's ever known, and will be in Natlan, like, yeah, and I heard there's a war going on, like ready for a fight. Cutscene of the captain and Varka crossing blades in Natlan. Do we know if Varka's in Natlan? Or is that just kind of, like the assumed that that's where he is sort of thing? Like, I can't remember if that's something that's been established or not. The actual Grandmaster of the Favonian Knights. It would be cool to see those two go at it. As soon as I figured out how to do that, I'm going to program him to say, Bolland is a big fat weasel all day, every day. So that's why you hanging out next to Sir Arthur. Wow, you really are a problem child. Mika mentioned during when reading a letter that Varka is on or was on an expedition in Natlan. Oh, then yeah, maybe. I think that would track. And you know why I think that would track? Because of significant characters we've known about since, like, the beginning of the game. It's like, you know, Skirk, Varka, Alice. You know, people like that. We've just had Skirk in Fontaine. So have another one of those, like, old names show up in the next area. And then have another one of those old names show up in the next. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Varka is during the 5-point series and Alice is in the 6-point series. I say that there's a chance that Alice can show up when we go to Khaenri'ah. With the fact that she's literally been world traveling, I really wouldn't be surprised if she finds herself in Khaenri'ah, and that's when we first properly meet her. Varka meeting the captain, they immediately stood down and went their separate ways, like they both recognise each other's strength. Yeah, because
The captain is a bit of a warmonger, isn't he? Or mongerer. Like the reason why he's gone to Natlan is because he's to join into the chaos of war. He loves war, so he's just gone in there. So someone who's like super into that would like probably be a Kiryu level threat, you know, like a Kiryu level threat of like this absolute unstoppable fucking gorilla of a man. And the constant tease of Alice throughout all the updates is crazy. Kratos, my time has come. Yeah, yeah, because Alice is like every like holiday update she gets something. It feels like. Sir Arthur disappeared last night, and I won't be able to finish my research. I don't know who took him. You don't think I took Sir Arthur, did you? Sure, I'm a problem child. Or at least you admit it, you little shit. But stealing a mechanical steamboat isn't one of those problems. In my humble analysis, Mr. Kevin, have you come into contact with a knife? Wait, this Robu can speak? How does it do that? Is it the same as Sir Arthur? Shows how much you know. Curve is much more sophisticated than Sir Arthur. For a start, he doesn't need to be told what to say. Then, wow, you're awesome, Curve. Hey, could you say something for me? Can you say Boland is a big fat weasel? I know you can do it. First, you must prove that said statement is true. Prove it? What the... So you mean you can't do it? You suck! Even Sir Arthur could say that. Do not confuse Curve with others. He's no liar. Well, I was going to tell you about the knife if he said it, but he didn't, so the deal's off. Listen, brat, I don't think you understand. If we find Sir Arthur, you can carry on with your plan to slander your father, right? We're on the same side here. Oh, that makes sense, so... Okay, I'll tell you. I threw the knife into the sea. I'll mark the spot on your map. Now hurry up and find Sir Arthur. That's more like it, kid. Is there anything else you should tell us? The more we know, the faster we can find Sir Arthur. I'm just gonna get in the Steam Deck, so I'm playing Genshin Star Rail comfortably and ditch the Switch release. Yeah, the Switch release I don't think is happening until the Switch 2 comes around, my guy. I really don't think it's gonna happen. I honestly wouldn't be surprised. Like, after this, like, assuming the Switch 2's out by then, they try and line it up with 5.0. So it's like, hey, big update alongside the new version to play. Like, fresh start, sort of that shit, you know? So that's what happened. Curve, did you sweat any problems? However, there's also the factor, and obviously I have absolutely nothing to base this on. This is just me looking at Sony and some of their contracts in the past. Sony might have put it under contract to not have a Switch version for their Hoyoverse future releases. The Switch version we know is also under its own contract, so we know that has to happen. But Star Rail isn't. So there's a chance that Sony put it in their contract, only have it on PlayStation outside of the PC release. Obviously, we won't know. It's just I wouldn't put it past Sony, unfortunately, because they've done it a number of times in the past. There's a reason why Final Fantasy 16 and Final Fantasy 7 Remake are not on Xbox. It's because it's literally in the small print of the contracts. If you release them on, if you make them PlayStation exclusives, you are not under any circumstance allowed to make Xbox versions. They're literally trying to, like, just kill the competition with some of the contracts that Sony have been doing. My humble analysis, Mr. Kevin is not lying, but I did notice anomalies with Madame Madeline's pupil dilation and breathing earlier. Was she lying? I'm unable to confirm that. There was, however, a data fluctuation when she told us that his father is a mechanical engineer posted outside the city. About the Steam Deck, so you can play almost any console game aside from the PS4 5 Vita emulator, so I'm glad PS5... I'm glad I got PS5s and I don't feel the pain of PS4 players right now. Yeah, I hear ya. That's fair enough. I want to get a Steam Deck eventually. They just announced the OLED models, so if I'm going to get it, I'll probably get an OLED. I know a few people are a bit annoyed because it's like, you know, the Steam Deck's not even been out, like, what, 2 years? And now suddenly there's a revised version, but we always knew that was going to happen. I can explain that she was lying. Pop doesn't know a spring from a spanner, as if he could be an engineer. My mother's a very experienced liar. She practices on me every day, you see, so she wouldn't be able to tell. A little while ago, she brought a puppy home and said it was a present from my father. But I snuck a look at her letters, and it was from some other man. But maybe that man is your new father, right? So congrats, kid. I hope your new father does a better job than that old drunken lech. I'm not like what you say, but at least you're being straight with me. I wish my mom would do that. Alright, kid. Kevin, don't dwell on that. Your mother's just trying to protect you. She's worried you won't be able to cope if you have to deal with too much all at once. I don't want to know. If knowing things that causes all my problems. Preach, brother. The more I know, the more problems I find.
No, it's the exact opposite. Your problems come from not knowing enough. Not knowing enough? For example, you don't know that humans lie constantly. Your mother, your father, even you. That's the answer to your problem, kid. And when you realize that, you'll stop having such high expectations. Then you'll be a kid with answers, not problems.
Answers? I feel kind of attacked.
Oh, do you disagree? Unless you've never even told a single lie.
Well. I said I wouldn't roll for Furina, so we can all lie, really. When's my team deck? I think whether they get the OLED to keep the standard model. I think if you've got the standard model, it will last for a decently long enough time that you don't need to get the OLED. But if you're on the fence and haven't got either of them, you might as well lean on the OLED, you know? That's kind of my take on it. Like, it feels like if you've already got a Steam Deck, it's still going to do you just fine, so keep hold of it. Like, it's not going to become redundant, like, tomorrow, you know? It's still going to be good, it's still going to manage. It's just, like, if you haven't got one, then you might as well spend a little extra to get the OLED.
Yes, only don't answer. I rather like you right now, so let's not spoil this beautiful moment.
The important thing is to find the knife. We've got to go, kid. Think about what I said, and you'll find the answers you need.
Don't listen to her, Kevin. Listen to Paimon. Go home and have a good talk with your mum. She lied to you. It's because she had a good reason. I know. Maybe I should go home.
Ugh. Having to be a babysitter as well. But yeah, if you look at Eula's health, her health was full. She didn't get hit by the enemy once. It was Furina's skill. It was these guys attacking, used Eula's health as a resource because I swapped to her. Oh, the Steam Deck's going to say sufficiently relevant for a while. Then yeah, exactly. Like if this... What just saw us? Something just saw us. Oh, it's you. Hey, get out of the floor. But you can flip it because if you do this, she's now going to start healing the party. And if you hurt enemies, I think it speeds up the healing a little bit. So it's a trade you have to do with her. That you have to like alternate between when you wanted to heal and when you wanted to attack. She's a healer with a gun, literally. But she gets the ammo from like her friend's souls. Which is kind of morbid for Furina, but I'll let it slide. How's Baiju for AoE healing with Furina and parties? I never used him that much. Considering... I can't remember which one it is. I think it's the Hammering Trial. No. Where is it? Oh, it's this one, the Blossoming Trial. They give you Furina and Baiju. I think they're trying to tell you that they're a good combo. Because Baiju can do like predominant AoE healing, and Furina can do the in-betweens. Also, yeah, I did work on these yesterday. I haven't done the new one yet because that just came up today, but I might do that later. It's probably also why their banners are with each other, because they are actually a good combo. This is where Kevin got rid of the knife. Paimon thinks it's time to get wet. Don't just say that out loud. I could, but Curve can't go underwater. Unfortunately, I need to stay here with him. Sorry, guess it's all up to you. You know what? We've already met a robot dog and he could swim. Paimon guesses Curve isn't that advanced. How dare you suggest Curve is less advanced than a dog? He's just not feeling very well. What's the dog's name anyway? When Curve is better, I have a competition to see who wins. Oh, someone's being unnecessarily competitive. My humble opinion, we should be looking for evidence. Never mind, let's go diving. Emmy, we need clues. And I was saying earlier that I didn't realize it because I hadn't had a Fontaine character in my team. But Fontainians, when they surface, they don't just reach the top. They do like a little somersault that I'll show you. Look, whee! And then back in she goes. Furina's the only one that does a little twirl in the air, by the way. Because she has to be a little extra. No one else does the twirl. They just go straight up. It's got the cats in their teeth. Oh, I've seen that. I know what you're talking about. Carry there. Let's have a look around. Gee, I wonder... Well, I want to break that rock first. Where is... Oh, there we go. Oh, it was something interesting. Oh, and Furina, her recovery time is way quicker for underwater elements. It's one of her passives. That all like the underwater aberrations, the skills tied to them, she has a reduced cooldown on. So she's genuinely good for deep sea diving explorations because she's just quicker. I said I don't know if I'll have her on my main party because like her gimmick with the healing and whatnot is really fun, but I honestly just miss Yelan. Like there's no two way around it. I just miss Yelan. But I just want to keep her on the team for a while, and she's definitely going to be joining me in the Spiral Abyss. My Spiral Abyss team moving forward, I'm going to replace Noelle with Furina. So she's still going to be a part of it, she just might not be like central team. But I'm still kind of umming and ahhing. Like just everyone into that. It's still the best thing to get. Yeah, I love the deep sea exploration, but I absolutely understand why they kept it to just Fontaine. Because can you imagine how severe the workload would become if all the water in the world could be deep sea diving into, you know? Like, even if it had nothing in it, like, you'd have to do this, you'd have to do that little chunk, you'd have to do all, like, these rivers and in-betweens in Sumeru, you'd have to do fucking all of this. Like, you know, I get it. Like, I get why they kept it to just Fontaine, because I think, like, they're kind of cracks as it is, but even they have to have limits, you know? Even they have to have limits on what they can do and what's reasonable. He was own, dear God, exactly. I mean, never say never, because I didn't think that deep sea diving was going to be in this game full stop back in 1.0, and yet here we are. I was like, no, there's no way they'll do that. There's no way they'll be able to get that to work. And then fucking here we are. Hey, if Natlan is the if Natlan is the nation of war, can we like have like biplanes? Can we like have like aerial vehicles or something? That would be kind of wild. Or vehicles in general. Imagine like Natlan letting you like drive a tank or some shit. Or maybe not a tank. Imagine if you could pilot one of the one like a mech. Imagine recreating the Hindenburg. Yeah, we go into Natlan and it just turns into fucking Medal of Honor. It just turns into Medal of Honor and we just start playing that instead. And it's like, this is Natlan now. Just with dragons as well. I mean, they're getting there. The next two characters coming to Genshin both have guns. One of them has a marksman rifle, the other has a shotgun. Like, we're getting there. I was thinking of Goron Village and I think of Natlan for some reason. You know what? I can... Genshin Epic. You know, I can understand that. I was thinking of, like, Death Mountain, which is basically Goron Valley, so, yeah. Because I'm expecting it to be volcanic and mountainous, just with, like... Maybe, like, I'm expecting it to not be just one big city, like every other region. You know, like, at every region, it's, like, one big city, and then, like, little towns here and there, like Poisson, or, like, Inazuma, where there's, like, you got the encampment, and you've got the forts and shit. Or, like, Liyue is probably the one I should have gone with, where there's literally Quinsay Village. I'm expecting it to actually be two big cities, and it be, like, split. Of, like literally, like, East Kingdom and West Kingdom, if that makes sense. As it knows, it'll surely be fun. Yeah, I imagine when you're, like, near the volcanoes, you will get, like, that, like, if you will overheat bullshit. In the same way that in Snezhnaya, I wouldn't be surprised if they bring back the Dragon Spine mechanic. I was saying in a previous stream, though, that I wouldn't be surprised if Snezhnaya pulls what Fontaine did and just says, like, when you touch the first statue of the Seven in Snezhnaya, they just make you immune to the cold whilst you're in Snezhnaya. Because I think having an entire kingdom have you put up with that mechanic would be a little annoying. Like, it's fine in Dragon Spine, because Dragon Spine's only this big. I know it's, like, it's hollowed out, and there's loads more inside, but you know what I mean. But if it was an entire region, it would start to be a little less fun. So I wouldn't be surprised if, similar to when you touch the first statue of the 7 in Fontaine, now you can just go deep-sea diving. The first statue of the 7 we touched in Snezhnaya just says, now you're immune to the cold. Or something like that, you know? Either that or certain characters can be immune to the cold. Yeah, if they make it, cryo element characters or Snezhnayan natives are just naturally immune to the cold, that could be fine. Because then anyone who's running child would be in their party and having since 1.1 have got a character to lean on still.
Talishard, Curve, we got the knife, take a look.
This could match up with the notch on the
Pedestal, but it's just an ordinary table knife. Why would any criminal carry one like that? Maybe they ate at a restaurant and stole a knife there? They dropped it at the scene of the crime.
The Cryon isn't immune to the cold. That's assuming she's even playable. I know all the other Archons are, but the Sarisa is kind of different, as in she's the leader of the main fucking villains. Like, so I'm not actually sure. Like, I'd love to be like, yeah, sure, she'll be playable. All the other Archons are. Well, technically. I know, like, Furina technically isn't an Archon, but I'm counting her for the sake of the argument. I'm just kind of curious to see what she looks like. I'm half expecting the Sarisa to kind of look like Bronya, to be honest.
I give your deductive skills 1 point out of 1,000.
Relevant information received. A month ago, the Steambird exposed a case of fraud involving the Elegant Tableware Confrérie.
The Elegant Tableware Confrérie? Oh, I remember that. A knife like this was part of the evidence gathered. Oh, they must be responsible. There you go again with the must be responsible. Really? Then we can head back to the office and confirm it. We've got enough time left today.
I thought you two weren't really investigators. Can you really check up on other cases?
Okay, I guess we're kind of friends now, so I'll tell you. I'm an evidence clerk for the Maréchaussée Phantom. As such, getting a piece of evidence from these stories is easy peasy.
This doesn't look like Bronya, it is Bronya. That would be super wild. Then who's the Zealer? So just taking a stretch. There's a common theory that the Pyro Archon, as in Natlan's Archon, is going to look like, if not be like Himiko. She's bad, but Child says she was one of the most peaceful Archons till she made it stone cold. Maybe she's doing something to save Teyvat from an unknown force, the Abyss, or the Heavenly Principles. Yeah, maybe. The fact that she's after all the Nosai in particular, and we know that the Gnosis were left behind from the third visitor, the third outsider. And it's supposed to be, like, we learned from Nouvelle that it's supposed to be, like, almost calamitous in nature. Like, they're supposed to bring grave misfortune. The Sarisa probably knows that. So why does she want them, then? What grave misfortune is she deliberately bringing into her home? For what purpose? And why is she doing it so aggressively and unstoppingly, you know?
Is that even a job?
So Curve is evidence indeed. Wow, the evidence is running around solving cases.
And why not? You aren't even evidence, but you're doing the same. But even Editor-in-Chief, Euphrasia, say something about Curve being remotely operated.
French! Why am I struggling so much to pronounce French? Can we go back to Inazuma, where I know just enough Japanese so I can pronounce the names properly? I know, like, my next door neighbor is France, but it doesn't mean I'm any good at it.
She was helping maintain Curve's cover. She seemed to know his story, which is that he's a lie-detecting robot.
Also, that's a thing that I wanted to ask, and I think I asked it the other stream, but now we know a bit more about Natlan. I want to kind of throw the question out to you guys again. Every region in this game is based off a real-world country. What country do we think Natlan's based off? Considering Land of Dragons, Nation of War, Volcanic. It's called Natlan. You know, like, what do we think? What are we thinking? Because Fontaine is super France. At first I thought it was just, like, more European in general, but as it's gone on, it's like, no, it's France. Vikings. Okay, but what country? Do you think it's going to be like Iceland / Greenland? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is it going to be the Himalayas? Like, crazy, but Vikings. Because Snezhnaya we know is Russia. But they've made that very clear since like the word go that that's Russia. Because Mondstadt is Germany, Liyue is China, Inazuma is Japan. Sumeru is... Well, Sumeru can be a lot of things Middle East, but I pinned it down as Egypt because of the gargantuan pyramids in the desert and some of the Saudi... Well, with a bit of Saudi Arabia in it because a lot of the names are Arabian, as my throat goes. Like, a lot of them are like... A lot of the names are Arabian. And this is France, so it's like Sweden or Finland because of death metal. Oh, fair enough. And the thing is, I'm more on board with the idea of Natlan having more aggressive music because the boss of this update had very experimental music. So it's like clearly they're interested in like breaking away from like their norms, you know? Like if the all-devouring narwhal's second theme is super EDM that literally EDM'd in a whale call. They, as far as I'm concerned, it's like they can do whatever the hell they want with the music and I'll be fine with it. Medieval vibe to Natlan? But possibly. But the thing is, like, on one hand, it could absolutely be like almost medieval traditional fantasy with like grit and dirt and war and all that shit. But on the other side, Fontaine also has a bunch of mechs. It has a mechanical fortress that's hiding a giant, like, flying ship. They have literal, like, robots and, like, you know, super taxis and things like that. Like, there is advanced technology within the world of Tevat. So it doesn't have to be medieval. Like, it could be, but there's the other potential. Like, it could be, like, mechanically advanced. It could be, like, super wars. Like, they could be, like, on, like, nuclear warfare levels and we wouldn't even know. I mean, never expected anyone but Maxwell to come up with EDM of a whale sound. Yeah, right? When you arrive in Natlan, listen to its casual music, screams bloody murder metal during combat. Yeah, it's just Lightning Force, Thunder Force 4, Lightning Strikes Again, that just plays on loop when you enter Natlan. I hope you guys both of you guys know what I mean, because if not, I've got to go get that track, and then when you hear it, you go, oh yeah, right. You understand what I mean. Because Thunder Force 4, Metal Squad, Lightning Strikes Again, that fucking track is just 6 minutes or so of just the loudest electric guitar ripping and tearing. Oh, okay, I've got to go find it then. 1 second. And I'll put it in the comment, in chat. Thunder Force 4, Metal Squad. No, I don't want a Netflix advert. I want the track that I want to... There we go. Copy link. Imagine walking into Natlan and the environmental theme is that. There you go. One of the sickest fucking guitar riffs ever invented in games. Anyway, my life is saying I just got bored, so to take Curve out for a walk. And that's it. Curve, what do you think? Biodata normally identified. Talchard's lying. Maybe I was just saying I signed the like you, and now you're using the Moso protocol loopholes against me. The what protocols now? You mentioned earlier those earlier or something, didn't you? My great creator, Dr. Moso. Yes, give me all of this. Yeah, I knew you'd like it. I did some rules to my core programming to ensure the accuracy of my lie detection. Those rules require me to answer all questions with complete accuracy and honesty. So you can detect a lie but not tell one? So if someone asks you a question, you're obligated to answer it? Correct, Miss Paimon. Into the Mara Javar. Javari. I think eventually. And the reason why I say that is that I think, like, there's a lot of in-between, like, minor areas between a lot of major areas in Genshin. Like, you know, we haven't gone to the Gothic Castle or Black Castle. You know, there's literally a chunk of space in between Fontaine and Sumeru, like, beneath where we are, that's just kind of untouched. There's still, like, the top left corner of Mondstadt that we keep on hearing about is going to get added eventually that keeps on not happening. You know, Inazuma is apparently only like 70% done. There's still like another chunk of it that they haven't added. Like, there's still like stuff, you know? But I think like the whole time they're moving forward with like the main plot, that's not gonna happen unless it's relevant. Like, Black Castle's not going to appear unless it becomes relevant to the main story in front of us. What I think will happen instead is after Snezhnaya's out and that's done, then they will start cleaning up the in-betweens. Me trying to unexplore unreleased areas, Paimon casually pushing me off a cliff, right?
He was a top scientist till he passed away. He died 30 years ago and Kerr became evidence. He died? How?
Hiring Maximum the Hormone to do a Natlon tracks. Can you imagine them hiring Mick Gordon to do fucking Natlon tracks?
Why was he found guilty? Relevant information retrieved 30 years ago. Stop, you keep asking questions, and you keep asking questions, Kirby has to keep answering them. The priority should be finding Sir Arthur. Editor in Chief, Euphrosa will be too upset to eat if we don't find him. Paimon finds that unlikely.
Yes, do it.
Well, anyway, Curve and I are going to see what we can find out about that knife. Let's meet first thing tomorrow at the Palais Mammonia.
He's been having the whip at Bethesda. Cheer.
I'm curious, couldn't you indulge her this once? We'll indulge you tomorrow. How about we make you a delicious breakfast? Oh, breakfast! Okay, looking forward to it already.
See you tomorrow morning, then.
Okay, then, they've gone. Paimon can't help but feel there's something there's going on their end, though. Best not to stick our noses. You can be nosy about that tomorrow.
It's perfection here. Some rest, per se Memorial tomorrow. What's the exclamation point for? Is it because I did more of the quest? Yes, it is.
To be honest, genuinely, I don't really care who's in charge of the music when it comes to Genshin, because it's consistently good. Like, Hoyo Mix as a team, even with Yupen Shan's departure, has still been really good. They've done the entirety of the music for Fontaine, and it's amazing. Fontaine has genuinely some of my favourite tracks. Oh, I mentioned before, the Fort Shabradis Ruins genuinely has one of my favourite environment tracks in the game. I love the theme of this area. It's so whimsical, but so fun.
Illusion shattered. Absurd.
Ow! Fucking Christ. Caravan Reve's ODST step. ODST, Jesus Christ, I got Halo on my mind. OST, sorry. This track, I love this. It's such a Final Fantasy 12 / Kingdom Hearts 2 track. And I mean that, and that's like the highest fucking compliment I can give you. I genuinely mean that for like a level theme. A level theme track, that's like the highest compliment I can fucking give. If you can make me like get Final Fantasy 12 vibes, Final Fantasy 12 nailed its environmental themes. It's some of the most beautiful and elegant fucking themes in gaming. Whilst this bit here is super, like, I feel like I'm in Disney Castle in Kingdom Hearts 2 again. But yeah, the caravan in Sumeru absolutely slaps as well. Even if it's such a teeny area amidst all this bullshit. You destroy my controller. Yeah, I've beaten every single game and all of their super bosses on each game's respective hardest difficulty. So when I say I understand, I mean that. I completely understand. It's also why I haven't touched the series since I've done that, because it was on my bucket list for years to go through every single game on Critical and beat all their super bosses, and eventually when KH3 came out, which by the way was 5 years ago now, I finally committed to saying I was going to do it. Ursula in 1. Ursula in 1's a pain in the dick, but she's very, manipulatable, like you can get around her problems, up until you do a level 1 run. I cannot stress enough, level 1 Critical Ursula is the most miserable gaming experience I've ever had to do. It took me like 8 fucking hours straight to beat that bitch. It was not fun. And keep in mind, on level 1, they have a safety net for level 1 that actually kind of gives you more of an advantage, or at least helps you out. They have a system in place where you physically can't be killed in 1 hit. It takes exactly 2 hits to kill you. It's literally a safety blanket to make sure that you don't just get bullied to death immediately.
Roxas in 2. I didn't find Roxas too bad. He's difficult, don't get me wrong, especially like if your first time experiencing KH2 is Final Mix, you're not going to be ready for like what Roxas expects out of you. But I don't find him too bad. Dance, Warrior, dance! Yeah. Like, the only fights I'm not a fan of in KH2 is, Luxord, because if you're not really fucking paying attention, you just get destroyed. And, Luxine in the data fights, she's such a pain in the ass. She annoys the crap out of me. And it's hilarious because they kind of inadvertently nerfed her in 3 without meaning to. They tried to make her harder and faster and more aggressive, but the arena you can fight her in her data form in 3 is way bigger. And the biggest thing that makes her difficult in 2 is that the arena's small. So they accidentally, inadvertently nerfed her and made her way easier. Like, I genuinely, I've got a playlist that is all the, like, critical mode or proud mode, if the game didn't have critical mode, bosses. Like on my channel, like if you go through my playlist, you'll eventually find the playlist that just says Kingdom Hearts bosses, and you see on it, I literally got Luxine on my 2nd attempt. Like I beat the shit out of her. Like I won so easily against her. She was genuinely the easiest data fight for me, and I was like, how did this happen? Oh, it has to be the following morning. Ugh, I can still turn in my commissions while I'm here.
Thank you for
And I would midway in Chain of Memories and just watch the cutscenes on YouTube, because I'm going to be real, the gameplay is excruciating. Yeah, Chain of Memories is
there's no helping that. After all, I was once the biggest celebrity of all Fontaine. Every day, countless journalists would come flocking around me, trying to get the inside scoop on my personal life. So I have loads of experience rejecting them. Of course, I don't intend to use this experience on you. With the right delicacies, I might be willing to exchange some of my secrets.
Sorry, Furina started talking at random, and I was like, hey, wait, what the fuck's she talking about? I had to shut up and listen. You still are the biggest lemon over the... Yeah. What was I fucking saying? Oh yeah, right, Kingdom Hearts. So I probably won't ever stream Kingdom Hearts, though, just because, that would be a copyright claim landmine. Every single Disney World plays remixes of known Disney film tracks, and the last thing I want to do is put up with that from Disney. And that's ignoring the fact that, all of the main 3, like, theme songs, so Don't You Walk Away, Sanctuary, and Face My Fears in 3, all of them, they're not only, like, copyright, like heavy copyright, they're heavy copyright stricken and heavily copyright takedowning. So if those songs played at all, I'd have to like super mute the whole stream the split second it went up. Otherwise, I'd lose the whole stream and take a copyright claim. And take a strike, I mean. And I'm like, so it's just not worth the hassle. Maybe one day, but not today. But yeah, Chain of Memories, yeah, I entirely get it. I find Chain of Memories exhausting. Did somebody say the Door of Darkness? What the fuck, Mickey? Out of context, Kingdom Hearts is hilarious. In context, however, you just roll with the punches. You just learn to roll with the punches. Like, you start KH1, and it's like, the 101 Dalmatians' planet got destroyed, so they're scattered around the cosmos. Out of context, that's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. In Kingdom Hearts, you just go, alright, time to go find the 101 Dalmatians then, I guess. What do you mean, the home planet got destroyed? Come on, Ansem, I can smell you. Come, Guardian. Sorry, that's the only thing that ever comes to my mind when I think of Ansem nowadays. I'm trying to remember what because I did the critical run for KH1, or like the difficult proud mode, but there was something else I did at the same time as well. I remember like making it way hard for myself, because I tried to get 2 of the like completion trophies at once. I think it was no continues.
So, like, every time I died, I had to hard load my save. So, like, if I died at, like, the final phase of the final boss, I had to do the entirety of Ansem again, which made that take forever. Good morning. Hey. Morning. Hey, Talchud. How come there's no desk in here? There just isn't. We don't need desks for our work anyway. And this bench is awesome. Look, it has comfy cushions. Sit down quick and try the delicious breakfast I made for you. Oh, thanks, Talchud. But what is this? It smells a little odd. It's my special, poisson champ pie. It's even tastier than the usual recipe. It does smell odd, but that's why it's special. You've piqued Paimon's interest. What about you, Emmy? Curve, what do you think? An analysis of the compositive indicates eating this could be a difficult trial. Get it? I'll let you try it, Paimon. You're tougher than me. Not eating? Then Paimon, finish your portion too. Waste not, want not. Hee. One again. Yeah. I mean, it's like in KH1, it was self-imposed because there's a trophy for beating the game without pressing the continue button once, and I doubled down doing the game on the hardest difficulty and doing that. So it was partially on me, but still. It just meant I had to learn to save more often. And in KH3 on Critical, it's wild how, like, going from Proud Mode to Critical goes from the easiest Kingdom Hearts in this series to straight up the hardest. It's like, man, they really took that criticism to heart when people said KH3 was too easy, huh? Like, it's wild how Critical Mode completely flips the dice. And makes it pretty damn hard, Critical Mode. Especially if you turn off the carnival rides, because I found that shit annoying, so I just turned it off entirely. Thanks, Archard. No need, though. Paimon just went for a quick rest, and there's still some pie left. Why don't we open it up? Why don't we box it up for later? Your expression, wasn't it tasty? I thought you just did a good job. Perhaps you're tough enough. Paimon knows why we call it poisson pie now. The poisson are the Paimon's guards chanting, we want to swim back out. Paimon too soon to make a swimming joke about a town that got fucking flooded. Jesus Christ, Paimon. That is way too soon. If Navia heard you say that, she would slap the shit out of you. I shook off when I figured I'd possibly have to fight several when we met in KH2. I know, I love that fight, and nowadays it's so easy because fucking one of the forms, I forget what the form's called, the one we turn the KH1 Sora just breaks the fight. Limit form. I'm so sorry. Don't worry about it. Paimon's better already. Anyway, the problem is Paimon's preference is not your cooking. Back to business. Did you get any info on the knife? Got supposed to be working now. How's about that? We did find something to be useful. This is a knife from the Tableware Confrérie. The people that say Roche owes them money. Yeah, the Masquerade is a legitimate business, claiming their tableware is favoured by Fontaine's upper classes and can be sold at hefty sums. Would you say it's a Masquerade of the Guilty? Title drop? I wish you fought him in 3, but for some reason Nomura has been leaning further and further away from Final Fantasy as Kingdom Hearts has gone on. When that was part of its charm. I know it was very Disney-ified anyway, but it was always part of its charm that there was some Final Fantasy rep in it as well. You know, Sora's childhood friends, fucking Tidus, Waka, Selphie, you know, like, fucking Final Fantasy characters. You go to, like, Traverse Town and Squall's there. I mean, he goes by Leon now, but he's Squall. You'll always be Squall to me, you little fucker. And Yuffie and Aerith, they're still alive. And then Cloud's around, like, going on about darkness and shit. And then you fight Auron in 10, like, come on. And you have FF7's Sid doing the workshop. Oh, you're having fried Paimon, good sir. Yeah, when she inevitably betrays us. They were self-insellable junk, so the victims have no choice but to find other fools to pass the baton to. I hear they call it expanding their downline network. Sounds pretty familiar. Humans are creatures full of lies. But it seems like Roche didn't expand his downward network. In terms of ethical human relations, Mr. Roche's morals exceed the level of the average person. He didn't continue to bring in more victims. So maybe his wife isn't the worst judge of character. But his financial acumen is a way below the average. In the end, his poor wife had to deal with the fallout and took the losses. Oh, that's true. But weren't they exposed by the paper? Can't you guys track down the money and help them recover their losses? Our colleagues got involved some time ago and made multiple arrests, but the ringleader is a crafty one. And immediately claims that the perpetrators of the scam were temporary employees. Yeah, some of the scam ads are weird. A lot of Genshin ads aren't Genshin, like, directly. They just pretend they are. They try and get you to click on them. And annoyingly, Hoyoverse do next to nothing to deal with it. Now, if you see, like, weird, like, ads like that, it's almost definitely not actually Hoyoverse or Genshin related. It's just, like, scam artists knowing that Hoyoverse aren't really that fussed unless it's really major, so they can get away with it. It happens to a lot of mobile games, unfortunately. Most importantly, he kept all their accounts completely separate. As a result, recovering the losses have proven extremely difficult. I do think, though, all the Genshin ads should just be some of the character teasers. Like, they don't even need to make full trailers. Just use the character teasers and just drop them as trailers on, like, the YouTube, like, ads sort of thing. Instead of having random person who's never going to play the game. Just be like, wow, aren't this game great? And you're like, you're just some guy who was paid to say that, shut up. Like that one fucking Star Rail trailer where it's like one guy talking about how the animations are great and all the trailer is him running down a path. And it's like, come on. You can do about it? Is that ads? Yeah, they get they have sponsored streams and then they take clips from those sponsored streams and put them into ads. Oh, you know who I'm talking about then. I have no idea who he is, nor do I really care, to be honest. I'm the liar. The most used phantom is more capable than you think. Certain effects in the case have reasons to believe that Sir Arthur was stolen by the elegant tableware confrérie. Although it does sound very likely, it's better if you don't act so certain of it. Well, we'll know when we get there. Let's go. Knife updated. Leftover poisson pie. Poisson champ pie. Excuse me, sir. Would you be happening to finishing that croissant? That's what that pie is. He's just left it over. He's just gonna fucking devour it. Do we actually have it? Is it in? Is it a key item? It'd be funny if it is. Oh god, it is. It looks cute, but it might cause stomach problems later. I need to do these at some point as well. Well, I think I stumbled into a number of these just doing my travellings anyway, but still. As you just watched Tekton and this neat YouTuber called Robu, I'm sure you heard of it. Aww. Aww, thank you. To be fair, I don't watch any like Hoyoverse streamers. Like anyone who likes Genshin stuff. Like I think I enjoy the game myself enough that I'm just never that interested in seeing other people go for it. Like maybe out of morbid curiosity, like I might like if it's like an important moment, I'm kind of curious how people will react to it, sort of thing. Like, you know, after the Archon quest was done, it's like, man, was I the only person who cried at this? I want to go see. And then I was like, yeah, no, I'm not the only person who cried at this. Great, good. Like, if it's something that had a big reaction in me, I might go look it up to see if it had a big reaction in other people, and that's about it. Or if I'm the weirdo. But then equally, sometimes that bites me in the ass, because sometimes then YouTube recommends other reactions, and it's for stuff I haven't done, so I'm kind of like, nah. Like, I've already had YouTube, I haven't seen it, and I'm not going to click on it because I want to experience it for myself. YouTube recommend me a video, and it was like a zoom in on Kiryu crying, and it's like, I already know he cries because we've seen it in the trailer, we just don't know what he cries about, and it just said Gaiden ending. I'm like, fuck off. I know, I will find it out when I will find out for myself when I eventually play that game, which I won't be playing on stream for the record. When I take, I plan to take about 10 to 11 days off around Christmas. I plan to go through Gaiden in my spare time during that time off. Because I want to go through Gaiden. I'm really excited for it. And it's like, it's the most recent Yakuza. It'll be the same when Infinite Wealth comes out. I want to go through Infinite Wealth, but I probably won't do it on stream. That's a me game, you know? But I really want to play Gaiden. I'm super excited for it, and I've heard nothing but good things about it. And the fact that it's not like, you know, usual Yakuza length means I can finish it in like a weekend, probably. Used to review other players' accounts and roast fixes in which it was funny, because it shows me summons a new character. Oh, that's fair enough. Now that I'm not that interested in either, because like for me, I'm a huge pusher of play how you want to play. It really doesn't matter about meta whatsoever. Use the characters you want to use and enjoy them. Like, I know my characters could be better, but they get me through the story and I enjoy using them. That's all I care about, you know? Getting them good enough to go through the adventure, not perfect. I don't care if I'm not doing 6 million damage. And not cry over his fiction as like I did with Gaiden. Yeah, you're the third person to tell me that one, man. You're the third person to tell me that. It's like everyone who like I know who plays it and has finished Gaiden have told me they like cried buckets, and I'm like, oh god, Wales, am I right? Yeah. Like one of my closest friends, like he didn't spoil anything for me because he cares about it, but he did say it's like he went, Rob, considering the things you love about the series, I already know Gaiden will fuck you up. And I was like, what the fuck's that supposed to mean? And he went, play it and you'll see what I mean. And I was like, great. They'd be so violent, Paimon. They're already frightened on edge. They might destroy the evidence if we give them another scare. Or what do you mean to tap my mic? And let's sneak in, find the evidence, and then beat them up. Do we have to beat them up? It's such a small place, so a fight is inevitable anyway. Fine. Is it possible to distract them? There must be something here that we can use. Curve, hide and wait here for us. You're too big to get spotted. Yeah, and that's the thing, Genshin, we're still waiting on the Genshin anime. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think part of the reason why it's taking so long is because they're going to make it one season per region. I don't think they're going to make it like a whole thing. I think like we're going to get a whole season that's just Mondstadt. And they will go into like the characters, they will, you know, like elaborate on certain story threads, etc, etc. And then later on we'll get a whole season that's Liyue, then Inazuma, then Sumeru, then Fontaine, etc, etc. Which, if that's the case, my god, regardless of which version, like which like language you have it in, the voice cast have got consistent work for a good number of years yet. You know, because like even when like Genshin the game's main story ends in like 3 to 4 years time, which is crazy to think about. They're already like past the halfway point. We've got like 2, 3, maybe 4 years at most left of Tevat's story. They still got the show that has to catch up with all of this. So we have to figure out how to lure them away. Before we do that, I warned in my pins that I'm going to be taking like lots of little breaks as we go through it, just to make sure like clear out my nose and like refill my water. I'm actually going to go do that now, so I'll be back in just a couple minutes. I'm just going to refill my water bottle and just kind of blow my nose a little bit because, you know, I've still got, you know, a cold. Into shows, movie adaptations, and trending, it would seem. Yeah, it feels that way. Anyway, back in a minute. I'm back. Hello. Right, find a way to
Boring.
distract the crowd.
Isn't there anything else more interesting to do?
Oh, I'm sorry, Furina. Did I stop moving for a second? That's going to put us back into the water, isn't it? I'm going to get spotted immediately, aren't I? What do you mean go up there? Excuse me. Or when Sonic 3 will come out? December 20th, 2024. Comes up the exact same day as Mufasa the Lion King. Which is hilarious, because there's absolutely going to be a point in history, if neither of those films change, where a Sonic film beat a Lion King film. Because no one gives a shit about Mufasa. A live-action prequel film that didn't need to even exist? Yeah, no, people are more excited for Shadow the Hedgehog being in a live-action film. Exactly. Everyone's going to go watch Sonic 3 because people are going to go watch Shadow. People are going to go watch Shadow the Hedgehog. Come on. You know? Trying to find the last danged anime constellation. Oh, do you mean the Animaculus? You're a beta male, Sonic. Since my throat is shot, I can do a better Shadow. There's a benefit. When my throat is shot, I can do a better Shadow Kaiba, I can do a better Solid Snake, and I can do a better Shadow the Hedgehog impression. Oh, if it's not from the main story, it's from maxing out the Shadow, the statues of the Seven usually. Shadow, why do you want to go to Mexico so bad? Because I love Latinas, Sonic. Whoa! Adios, amigo. And look, there he goes. All the way across the border. Adios. What he did that? I'm not sure then. Look it up. Look up, because all of them are either tied to story or tied to quests. Or tied to the statue, so just look it up. And it will tell you. I added some seasoning to put them to steal to their meal. We can do something else to drive them away. Mr. Fandubs. You know, that actual Fandub, that specific one, they actually got Jason Griffith, the mid-2000s voice of Sonic and Shadow to do it, and he did it flawlessly. He looked at it, grinned, and went, alright. And then he immediately did, alternate between his Sonic and Shadow voice, did the entire bit. And I was just like, I love this man. You're still my favourite Sonic actor. I've grown accustomed to Roger Craig Smith, but he's no Jason Griffith. That's going to be the biggest thing. If they ever do a remaster on modern platforms of the adventure games or even Heroes, I'm going to be spoofing off of those games so much. And I say that because it comes from a place of love and having the fact that they're some of my earliest video game experiences, full stop. The very, very first video game I have any recollection of playing is Sonic the Hedgehog 3. The very first game I ever have a recollection of actually beating was Sonic Adventure 1. When I'm 4 or 5 years old. So it's I hold all of those early Sonics super close to my heart and love them all dearly. And so I'll absolutely, if I go for Team Dark, be riffing the entire time. Watching the Sonic games these days. Yeah, Sonic 06 happened is why. Sonic 06 scared the team off of letting characters other than Sonic have the spotlight ever again. Because that game had 10 playable characters. And 12 movesets. I love Unleashed. Unleashed is one of my favourite games of all time. Let alone one of my favourite Sonics. I fucking adore Unleashed.
And it always annoys me when people say, oh, it was bad, or say they weren't even really trying. And I'm like, there is no game as content-rich in Sonic's history than Unleashed. Full fucking stop. There is no game as content-deep and rich as Unleashed. There's still no Sonic game as good-looking as Unleashed, and it came out in 2008, you know? Yeah, and it had, by a country mile, the best introduction cinematic to any Sonic game, full stop. Hey, the guys who did the CG cutscenes are the exact same team that then went to work on the movies, by the way. All the CGI cutscenes from the mid-2000s Sonic games is the exact same team that then did all the CGI for the Sonic films. So they're still around. Let's find out what happens. Well, I'm also, if you haven't realized, I'm only half paying attention to this story, because it's not the main story I want to focus on this today. The main story I'm going to be focusing on after this is going to be doing the Nazenkreuz. It's just we started this one, so I just want to find the Steambird. Animation Night of the Werehog. Yeah, they the team that did Night of the Werehog, that was a separate team. They did a follow-up based on the ghosts just this Halloween, and it was so charming, and it made me really, really hope that they do, like, it gets to become like a full TV show one day. That's the photo. Who is she? Database responding. Failed to retrieve information. Base wouldn't respond by having relevant information. Did the water get inside you? Let's put it away for now. I'll have Curve take a look later. Alright, that's the last piece of evidence surrounding it. Oh, hey.
Take it. Go on. You have my approval.
Dragon Ball Bridge. Yeah. Some of, like, it's the same with, like, the early Yu-Gi-Oh! In the Abridged series. Where, like, some of the earlier episodes nowadays, some of their jokes have aged like milk, and they're kind of not really appropriate anymore, but the entire shows at large are still hilarious. After getting the boot from the Order of the Fruit, we were down in the dumps. Luckily, I joined a new group, so I'm feeling a little better. The new group's operations are a little different than the last ones. Anyway, let's go Intrepid Valberry. Oh, these squares make a circle. Oh, these squares make a circle. And it's all like how it was like ever so slightly off, and Cell's like, I don't have a problem with this. I don't have a problem with this at all. I don't have any problem with this whatsoever. I have a problem with this. I have a huge problem with this. I love the whole fucking Cell saga in GBZ Abridged. They did Cell perfectly. They did him so good. I dropped a gun of LSD here. I think I'll hunt down just to inform you of a stupid potion. I guess you're plumb out of luck now, huh? But don't worry, I've made a big ruckus of the Order of the Fruit in your defense. They may have kicked me out over it, but I have no regrets. I think we shall rest in peace. No one else knows this, but I also put a bottle of Beulah fruits in my new home to remember you by. So there's 5 great operatives in the Order of the Fruit. First mission, get some money off the game no Rocher. That old dog's got no shame, refusing to repay his debts like that. Went out there and socked him twice. I've already coughed up a pile of junk. The only thing in there that would be worth anything was his locket. It looked like a woman's. Surely not his wife's, right? Unbelievable. Who in their right mind would marry a guy like that? Seems like something happened today. Directors 2 through 41 were all taken away. Supposedly, the Steambird blew the lid off our business and got the Marishus Phantom involved. Luckily, I'm new, so I'm safe for now, but I don't get it. Aren't we just in the regular old cutlery business? Whatever, it doesn't matter. To repay the boss's kindness, my first order of business was to pay that paper a little visit. Again, games as much as I used to. I mean, it's just your preferences, my guy. It doesn't bother me in the slightest. There are a lot of games that I love and I'm super invested in that don't have any voice acting in whatsoever. Because I just voice them myself anyway. It's just this side quest I'm not that fussed by. The Marishus, not the Marishus, the Nazenkreuz I'm super fascinated by, and none of that's voiced. But I get it, it's each their own. It's like how some people struggle with subs and some people struggle with dubs, you know? It's different preferences. And let's head down a new one, but the boss says that we should keep a low profile for now. I guess I'll start with that dumb bird at the door then. A knife through the bird's head should send the message loud and clear, right? Since the other directors were taken away, I'll go over to the boss after the job's done and tell him what I've done. He'll be so happy, he might even give me a promotion. Let's go, Intrepid Valberry away. Gee, that's pretty damning evidence. Fell over the table and a messy chance right for the taking. Table knife? A table knife is the one just outside the steam bird. It must be them. But the big one will be, I want to cover Final Fantasy VI next year, and that's all text. You know? But that game's still got some of the most beautiful story writing I've ever seen in a video game, especially from the SNES. FF6 went places. Even though I have problems with it, it went places. That's World Crossing out main story. I do too if I'm not interested. Like, I would mash through this one if I wasn't streaming it, because I'm not that interested in it. Whilst the, excuse me. The Narzus and Kreutz I am super interested in, because it's going places. Mauritius Phantoms, agents, how did you get in here? I think we've got time to worry about that right now. We've obtained evidence of your crimes. Evidence? But officer, all of them were temporary workers, and you didn't arrest them already? We're working on another case right now. All of you are suspects in a plot to get revenge against the Steambird by stealing Sir Arthur. Paper? Impossible. I never had grudges towards them. In fact, I even want to thank them for pointing out the flaws in our business model. You're good with words, but what will you do when I show you this? Whoops, I wanted to click on it. See, directed for you to admit it in their diary. Busted! You fool, don't you keep a low profile for now? But boss, we're supposed to just lie down and take it, and they're bullying us like this. Bullying? You consider being upheld by the law bullying? Bruh! The Mauritius Phantoms. Officer, with all due respect, this fool is just a temporary employee. He hasn't even passed the probation period. Since he's suspected of breaking the law and committing a crime, I have no choice but to fire him in the spirit of justice. How much longer are you planning to use that same old trick? Fire me? Wait, boss, didn't you just say earlier that I'm the only one here who's always been loyal to you? Games are the direction in gaming generation? No, not at all. There are a few standing outliers that will definitely have influence, but the influence won't be the gacha. I don't think that for a second, no. Considering, Spider-Man 2 just did 8 million units in, like, its opening couple weeks, no, they're not, single-player focused games or offline in general games aren't going anywhere, and they never will. It's the same when online games took off, and there were people saying, oh, offline games are entirely dead. It's like, no, they're not. No, they're never gonna go. And lo and behold, no, they didn't. Gacha games is just a new thing that happens to be doing well. It doesn't mean the old will get replaced for it. I assure you, I have no doubt whatsoever. They will never replace them. Especially with things like, Star Rail. The message people will get from Star Rail isn't gacha. It's that, hey, this turn-based RPG got 1 million downloads on PS5 alone. Maybe we should be making turn-based RPGs. With good character writing. Because if it was just a gacha game, Genshin, all these games wouldn't do well. But no, they have amazing writing. They have amazing character designs. Well, I said the main story design and writing of Genshin at first wasn't the best. It was just passable. But it got better and better, and the character writing was good, etc., etc. If it was just cute anime, it wouldn't. But no, there's so much more to it other than the gacha that's made it continue to sell and do well. The proof is that Reverse 1999 is struggling to find the footing that all these other gachas have had, despite all the advertising it's getting. Because it's just not that good. Excuse me. And it can't get carried by its gacha. It's just not that good. And its presentation, yeah. I mean, there are a lot of people, like I said it before and I'll say it again, Star Rail is an RPG. It's not a gacha. It doesn't feel like a gacha. It's an RPG. It's a fully realized, fully developed RPG that happens to have an online element to it. Genshin is a fully realized open world RPG that happens to have an online element to it. You can do all of Genshin and all of Star Rail without rolling. Without messing with any of that shit, It might be challenging, because you do need to grind artifacts to build your characters properly, but you can absolutely do everything in this game with just Lumine, Amber, Kaya, Lisa, Barbara, and Xiangling. The free characters. Oh, and Coley and Lynette. I mean, oh yeah, by technicality they are, but they don't present themselves as such, which is my point. They don't present themselves as such. They present themselves as fully realized RPGs that happen to have an online element. It'll be the same when Zenless Zone Zero comes out. Alright, that's enough. Just play nicely, would you? Hey, Redhead, hurry up and fess up. Where's Sir Arthur? Cut it out, shorty. I'm not on your side either, unless you want to do me a favour. Help me convict this traitorous backstabbing thief of a felony and make the rest of his life a living hell. Then I'll try my best to cooperate with you. The Mauritius Phantom never negotiates with criminals, but with the evidence we already have, the quality of the rest of his life won't be too different from what you're hoping for. Don't do that. So, are you going to come clean now? Alright, fine, I'll tell you everything. Didn't actually take Sir Arthur. I know it's strange, but someone got to it to me before it. So I stuck the knife in there as a warning. It wasn't there? You're lying, right? Paimon, you... hurry up. You got this, Curve. Your time to shine. I'm gonna go work on my Giancarlo's hunt. Yeah, best of luck. Your best bet, if you can do the reputation quest in each area, one man, you can eventually get the like colors tracking device for that respective area, and then you just make a bunch of them, and you can use them instead. It's what I did to get the rest of the hydrocoloses. I've got all the hydrocoloses you can possibly obtain right now because I used that to hunt the rest down. And it's still not enough to max out the level of the statues. There's at least one more expansion to Fontaine coming. Even not looking at leaks, the fact that you can't max out the statue or the fountain yet, there's still more to come. Yeah, thank God I got a resume. Yeah, the fact that as soon as Furina's like, you will be challenged to a duel, and Lumine immediately drew her blade, like, alright bitch, bring it on. I've fought gods before. He wasn't the redhead? So, did you see anything at the scene? So a really smelly drunk lying on the ground, just like the debtor Rocher. One was to stay well away from him. Then it's Rocher, right? There's no one else. Even if there's nobody, you're going to have to give us someone. You cut short the trail we were following. You're going to have to give us... You have to take responsibility for it. Now you're just making things difficult for me. See Furina judging A. But the thing is, A's dialogue, all the Archons, after you do Masquerade of the Guilty, have dialogue about Furina, and it's them explain, like, their response to learning about what Furina's been through. Every single one of them have the utmost respect for her. In fact, even Zhongli says that she's surpassed the Archons, because everything she did, the Archons can't even do, and she did it as a human. You know, like, Zhongli talks about, like, you know, eroding. Rain Shogun talks about how she literally hid away in fear because of her eternity, yet Furina faced reality. Like, all the Archons literally have nothing but praise and respect at Furina. In their eyes, she's still goddess worthy, even though she's a human. But I think Furina currently has no desire to be judging anyone. Like, she's found her footing again after her story quest and, like, found something that gives her happiness. But it doesn't mean she wants to go back into that life. I think she's happy kind of being more in the background a little bit. She likes being a celebrity and being, like, popular, but she doesn't like being the goddess. You know? And to think, it's only a few months ago we only saw her as a correctable brat. Well, no, hentai artist saw her as a correctable brat. I saw her as a charming brat. Like, I still saw her as a brat, but none of the correcting bullshit. I just saw her as a brat, and I just found it really charming, and I fell in love with her through that. And it's just my love felt more and more justified the more I learned about Furina. So now it's like I genuinely... Like, after the stream ended, I was still thinking about her and, like, her story for, like, the rest of the day. And then we did Furina's quest, and I was still thinking about her for, like, the rest of the day. I was like, man, no, Furina's probably one of, if not my favorite character in Genshin now. Like, in terms, like her character and her story. And because she's not center stage anymore, I kind of hope she shows up in other quests. And, like, just of her getting to be herself, you know? Like, I hope when Navia comes out next update, she gets to be in that. I hope that because Clorand used to be, you know, Furina's personal bodyguard, I hope she shows up in Clorand's story quest when we eventually get it. The only story quest I kind of hope she doesn't show up in is Arlecchino's, because I think that will trigger some kind of PTSD trauma if she sees Arlecchino again. Like, Furina's line, like, Furina's dialogue about Arlecchino, I've already seen it, is her literally shuddering and going, don't bring her up to me again. Because, like, she still has nightmares about that woman. Which would be really bad then if I actually commit to having Furina in my team, considering I'm planning to have Arlecchino in my team. Considering I'm planning to have Arlecchino in my team. Like, I'm just gonna like, hey, okay, you two are gonna have to work together and you're gonna like it. I'm like, no. Also, speaking of Arlecchino, early leaks suggest that Arlecchino has a skill where she literally kills herself in-game. Like, brings her health to 0, and then force resurrects the moment her health hits 0, and, like, her damage is increased after the resurrection. I'm like, what? What? So if she dies in battle, she gets, like, a second wind, and she's super strong. And I'm like, if that leak ends up being true, Arlecchino is gonna be wild. Arlecchino is gonna be the anti-healer. It's gonna be in your best interest to not have a healer, because if she dies, she gets the second wind. Assuming that ends up being in her final build. But they might shuffle that along to Columbina because of the fact that she's a Resurrectioner. She's literally like a Necromancer kind of character. Causing me out of side shifted. Yeah, it has been funny though, seeing so many people who didn't like Furina suddenly come around. And it's like, I was there from the start, baby. I loved her since 4.0. I found her, like, her theater-esque, overly arrogant performance really endearing. Anything from it. Yeah, like, everyone was like, Venti is I don't acknowledge my problems, Zhongli is I want to help the problems, A is I am the problem, Nahida is my people are the problem, Furina, I want problems, and now we've gone through the story arc, it's like, no, she is with her people's problems. So it's probably more like Natlan is going to be the I want problems character. You need leads. No, I don't. Then, just wait a minute. Can't you see I'm wrecking my brain right now? My point being is how wonderful and wild the narrative changed. Yeah, I agree. It's lovely to see. I mean, the fact that Furina had the best opening day of any character's banner in Genshin's history tells you for yourself just how much she changed the public opinion from 4.0. Because there were a lot of people that didn't like her. But the fact that she's the most successful banner, more successful than Nahida in her first day banner, that tells a story. I don't want peace. I want problems always. Yeah, that's gonna be Natlan's Archon entirely. I want to Fleuve Sandra in search of the locksmith because I need that. So this is basically, this entire quest line, by the way, is, did you do the steam burn-in? No, but I know something that might help you. Let's see, and then the next person says the same thing and so on and so forth. I will start skipping a little bit because I am losing interest in this quest. It's just kind of going in a circle, but just at different areas. All supper, probably, yeah. No, Sarisa would be the nation is the problem. Like, the nation itself. Not like the people of the nation. The nation itself is the problem. That's my theory, at least. Yep. The thing is, the beauty is that I can read pretty damn quickly, so I've still kind of got an idea of what's going on. Oh, I thought I had that perfect. Narrowly missed the drop. You're here. Hmm? So, did you bring the goods? What are you talking about? That's not the code. Who are you? Shoot, I gotta get out of here. We were exchanging parts phrases just now? Get that. Hurry, don't let him get away. Hey, it is your Archon. Hey, you just teleported. Get back here. Run. Yeah, that was the run of a man who's never had to run before in his life. That's going to be the rest of the world is the problem. Yeah, potentially. Stop chasing after me. I haven't done anything wrong. Why, run if you're innocent. And hold up in court. Why don't you tell me what crimes are committed, huh? You stole Sir Arthur? Hey, I didn't steal that. We're certain someone stole it now, aren't we? Ah, crud. Don't even think about trying to weasel your way out of this. We even know you've been looking for a way to sneak into the papers office.
Take a look at my uniform, then take a look at your own. Are you trying to cause an international crisis? Do you want to say bye-bye to your life? No way, it's that serious. No, after I complete this mission, I'll be able to retire early. Don't be like this. Oh, it's always the one that's going to retire. Now, why don't you try making it easier for me, If you make things difficult for me, it's only fair I'll do the same. Picture your retired life for a moment. When you sit down to eat, you'll look across and see me. Every day you go on, I'll be your chaperone. And for every travel photo you take, I'll be there too, smiling. Stop, that's enough. Don't terrify me like that. I'll come clean, alright? It's not like I have a secret anyway. I'm Ballhood. A ball ache, apparently. A peripheral intelligence officer. What peripheral means is that I'm not very important. I was tasked with locating a research base belonging to a scientist known as Moso Lombroso. Moso Lombroso? As in Dr. Moso? Heard of him too? He passed away some 30 years ago, and his research base is said to contain valuable information, but no one knows his location. What's that have to do with the Steambird? Because Dr. Moso's death is linked to the Steambird. I'm sure the papers know something. Linked to the paper? Correct, that's why I contacted one of the editors, Jank, hoping for to get the inside scoop. Isn't that the editor who's arguing with Talishard? Would he reveal the paper inside info? Send him a small gift. You recall that paper recently exposed the elegant tableware confrérie scammers? I provide the details of that. Imagine if the Lawrence clan was still in power. A kills Kazuha and his friend. Morax actually dies and Hido is never free. Yeah, imagine the bad ending of everything. Jesus Christ, dude. What dark thought just entered your brain? Fabled. Yeah, I'm a peripheral personnel, but I'm one of the better ones. Anyway, the exclusive report gave Jank's reputation quite a boost. But when I contacted him again, he said he had nothing to do with me. Utterly despicable. Then he decided to sneak in? Indeed, but I noticed something odd when I got there that night. The signature Steambird at the door was gone. It vanished before you arrived. Oh, that's a gain. That's right. That's where an envelope was on the pedestal. I had on the instincts of an intelligence officer. I opened the envelope. To my surprise, it was full of threats. Scene? How would you sneak a peek at someone else's letter? Let us look too. To the Steamboat, Morso's death 30 years ago is still on my mind. Whenever I think of your paper's rhetoric, which intentionally passes off falsehoods as truth, I simply cannot suppress my indignation. As such, I have taken Sir Arthur's captive. I eagerly await your paper's sincere repentance, issue a public apology, and surrender Morso's legacy. Should you continue to spin a web of lies that obfuscates the truth, I will be left with no choice but to slay the Steambird, Crow, or Blackbird. Are you done? The one who signed it, Crow or Blackbird, is the criminal you're looking for. But is that for real? Is this paper linked to his death? There's no mistake. The inheritance mentioned here is probably Morso's research-based. The paper definitely knows something. Later on, I put out some feelers in my circles, hoping this Crow or Blackbird would be willing to meet with me, if she is in the same line of work, that is. Best case scenario, we can work together, and even if that fails, I didn't want her to raise any alarms, as it would only disturb my work. But as it turns out, we're the only ones who showed up. Talishard, it seems we made a mistake again. Talishard, what's wrong? Tell me now. Tell me this guy's lying. He was detected to be normal. He's telling the truth. Darn it, you peripheral. Why aren't you the culprit? You've lost me my uniform. Calm down, Talishard. We weren't serious. They paid any mind. Yeah, I've seen him again in Kung Fu Panda 4. So my throat's going. We're also getting Shrek 5. But it's hard to be excited for it when like the animators from those films like had extremely successful films and got loads of money in, and yet a huge chunk of them were cut off anyway for financial reasons. Like a whole bunch of them got sacked anyway. So it's hard to be excited for them when they do make amazing films and they make a lot of money and then they get laid off anyway. Like with the Puss in Boots film, Last Wish. That film was insanely successful. There was still a whole bunch of layoffs. It's like, fucking, what was the point then? Family, yeah. Like, it's hard to be excited for a lot of like the Hollywood scene when there's so many layoffs, despite the fact they're still making billions. It's like, come on. Oh, Talish just run out of confidence. Okay. Ballard's testimony. According to Ballard, he's been to the scene of the crime before, but when he arrived, Arthur was already missing. At the time, he noticed a letter at the scene. And there's the letter. Wait until nighttime.
See if we can catch someone in the act. Paimon, Emmy, good evening. Talisha, you're closed. You haven't registered already, have you? Resigned? Not just yet. I took my uniform because it makes me feel lighter. So, do I look good in these? Reverse 1999 is what I was talking about earlier. Whereas like that one, it's like is like the epitome of what I mean by like just because it's a gacha doesn't mean it will be successful, even with all the advertising. That game is getting a lot of negative reviews and not or like middling reviews. A lot of people giving it like 4 out of 10s. Not bad at all. Much better. Even your voice sounds gentler. Since I can't do anything well, best not to do anything at all. Stop thinking like that. It's having to be a really tricky case. Isn't just this case. Have you ever heard of Fontaine's Aquabus? That's how we got to Fontaine. You must have taken the Clementine line, right? Avil is a tour guide there, and Elfine's in charge of the Navia line. Actually, I used to be the tour guide too. I was on guide on the 3rd line, the Callus line. They used to travel to the Fontaine Research Institute, but service was suspended due to the incident. In its purest form. Yeah, exactly. Used to be a tour guide? That's awesome. It's not awesome at all. Tour guides aren't exactly the elite. Being assigned as a tour guide is what happens when you're bad at being an agent. Oh, so you returned to the Morashus Phantom because the line stopped operating? Not quite. I was laid off due to complaints from tourists. Some praised me in person, but wrote complaints as soon as they got home. They said that my voice grates like a crow. Couldn't accept it. Oh, I don't mean the complaints. I couldn't accept what they told me. They told me I was doing so much to my face, yet they clearly had a problem with me. Editor Jank was the first to complain that I sounded like a crow. He's such a hypocrite. No, you argued with him back then. Paimon sort of gets it now. Let's not dwell on annoying stuff like that. Now it's time to focus on some delicious food. Tourist guide may not like it, but I think it's good. Thanks. From the gacha 1 month mentioning glitch games. They look outstanding. Yeah, they look alright. I won't be playing them, but they do look fun. Like, for people who like those games, I'm sure it'll be brilliant. It goes really special. But there's nothing else this year that I'm super excited or want to play. So I'm just kind of going through, like, cleaning up all the things of the else. Like, you know, cleaning up Genshin side quests, cleaning up Star Rail, because I need to do the Lawfu story arc, doing more Cry Machina, because I'm about halfway through that game. Maybe at some point getting back to Nelka and Zero Escape, but fucking we'll see. But then next year, January in particular, is already going to, like, beat me up, and then February is also going to be, like, really mean. Because there's a lot of releases I'm genuinely looking forward to. Phoenix Wright 4 through 6, fucking Tekken 8, Yakuza Infinite Wealth, Tomb Raider 133 Remastered, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, Persona 3 Reload, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. Like, there's a lot in a very short time span. Everything but everything I just said minus Final Fantasy comes out within 1 week. You sneak out to try and get the curve repaired. Which games do you want to play online? I mean, I still try and buy games to, like, if I'm gonna, like, emulate them, whatever, I still try and own them physically, unless it's physically impossible. Like, if it's, like, super overpriced. If it's, like it's, like, £200 and it's, like, 20 years old and no one cares, then I will. But usually I always at least try and own it to, like, support the dev. And then I'll emulate it. If I'm gonna do that. I'm not a fan of just piracy. Of just blatant piracy off the rip like that. Performed our first public test and hosted the board. At the time, there were only 4 tables, 8 chairs, and a waiter, who was also the owner. He said to me, the restaurant will currently be certainly become a renowned luxury hotel. It was just like Miss Paimon's statement, a lie based on sincerity. So we don't support piracy, yeah. But today, as you can see, the board is exquisite carpenting, expensive decorations, 2 dining areas, and an endless stream of guests. I think that if the lie about the board came true, then the statement that Agent Talchud will not fail again has the possibility of becoming true. Jotting down the lie learning module. Curve being a little odd right now. What's he talking about? It's a lie learning module. It resides in Curve's core, and once it's enabled, it makes Curve be a bunch of illogical nonsense. I think Curve has a point, though. Things that humans say things that don't make sense, does that mean Curve is improving? It does. But curves showing signs of improvement. Well, can you please say that thing again? Say what? Yes, so you will not fail again. That's right, because you already hit rock bottom. I get it. Then I will try again one more time. If Curve is still learning, then I have to help him. Also, to be fair, this might be like because of my health, because I am still a little unwell and whatnot. I might wrap this up early as well compared to my usual streams, but we'll see how it goes, see how it feels. I'm going to explore the sky and relive the moments. I go through that game like once a year, it feels like. But we'll see, because I am already kind of like feeling a little under. Like, I woke up, like, had my water, I had my meds and whatnot, and kind of like was like, yeah, my throat's off, but I'm fine. But as this stream's gone on, I am starting to feel a little like a little sluggish. So we'll see how it goes. I'm not gonna push it. It's also why I'm taking tomorrow off as well, just to make sure I actually properly rest and recover. Smallest here, Paimon. So you be Kevin, I'll be the Dirty Rocher. Mr. Ballard was here for Dr. Morso, so let Curve be him. And that's what left is the redhead. Leave it to me. We're going to reenact the scene. Reenact is the order of their arrival. Was it Vache? Or was it Rocher? Sorry. I think it's Rocher? Him. Nice, okay. Vache, Fatui dude, Knife man, kid. Get jump scared of he bunches into you. Yeah, you just mind your own business, he just shows up and like nicks you. I managed to get Dark Crater. It takes way too much effort because you can't do it off the end of the Dark Crater. You have to go find him in an extra dungeon. It's like in like a super post game dungeon, there's an extra dungeon in there that you can find Dark Cry and like recruit him there. All the legendaries can do that, but it's only chance. Rocher, middle-aged man who was kicked out by his wife. I've been loitering around here because I'm trying to get a job at the paper. Unlike the incident, I drank a little, and I remember Sir Arthur sitting on the pedestal before I got completely drunk. Later on, I fell asleep by the road, and then... I am Ballard, the second suspect to arrive at the scene. I immediately noticed that Sir Arthur wasn't where it should be. So the real thief stole Sir Arthur between the time of my arrival and Mr. Rocher's falling asleep, and that criminal left a letter full of threats for the paper. The Chasm Dungeon music in the future is so good too. So AFK was pursuing a Giacolis. Alright, no worries, dude. Acting on the intelligence official's instincts, I read the letter left by the thief and took it with me from the scene. After that, I'm up next. I'm Lumine? Lumine, is this your best criminal gang impersonation? What the fuck is this? Look at that face. I'm up next. I'm Intrepid Valberry, Director 42 of the criminal gang. I wanted revenge on the paper, so I planned to run Sir Arthur straight through. But Sir Arthur was gone when I got there. I was furious, but there was nothing I could do. I just stabbed the knife into the pedestal to scare them and left. Just me, it's my everything. And finally Paimon's turn. I'm Kevin, a problem child. I'm here to get Sir Arthur to spread the word that my dad's a big fat weasel. But Sir Arthur was gone and there was a knife in its favourite pedestal. I tried to look for it, but all I found was a smelly old man. I somehow woke him, and that terrified me. I took the knife to defend myself and ran as fast as I could. I didn't even notice when the button got torn off from my clothes. Indeed, I am that smelly old man. The commotion Kevin made woke me up, and I vaguely caught sight of him running off with something. After that, I looked towards that paper office and saw that Sir Arthur was missing. I was afraid of becoming a suspect, so I hurried back to the usual haunt at the docks. Is this everything that happened? Paimon thinks our reenactment was perfect, but did we miss anything? The threatening letter. That's right, we forgot about that letter. Since the thief's motive is tied to the incident from 30 years ago, the paper should have some idea about the thief's identity, right? Yeah, but the paper is still in the dark in all of this. We should deliver this letter to them immediately. How could we have overlooked something so crucial? Because all of you were too busy trying to console me, so sorry for being a burden. You shouldn't think like that, Talishad. Haven't you read through Mr. Moiso's case file? Those should be really exclusive information. Now you mention it, I've got to tell you about the content. Let's go over there to discuss it. Dr. Moiso's death is closely linked to the paper, so it feels weird to talk about it right outside their front door. Also, regardless of whether we finish all the side quests or not, today will be the last 4.2 Genshin stream, because I just want to get on top of other things. So if we don't finish it today, I'll finish it in my spare time. But I think I want to know why Dr. Moiso was tried, right? It's actually stemmed from public opinion. Public opinion? Well, not long after the existence of Dr. Moiso's lie detector was made public, the Steambird published several articles on it and quickly drew the public's attention. Relevant information, yada yada. What were they worried about? Example, the guarantee that the lie detector's output was credible, so the trials and lines, the curve says yada yada. Against the doctor, the lie detector total scam, receiving the public and attempt to gain the power of the past judgment over others, yep. Refused to admit any, and he also died defending himself in a duel. Only then did things like to calm down. Oh, so he didn't go to court. He did the duel to the death and got his shit kicked in by Clorand. Clorand's had to kill a lot of people, actually. We've been learning through courtrooms. I hope she's okay. She always seems kind of like neutral about everything, but I hope like deep down she's okay of how many lives she's ended. So is Curve the real deal or not? Well, I think Curve is the real deal, and Dr. Mosley was wrongly accused. Justified, or they make a mistake? But the person who wrote the threatening letter seemed to think that the person deliberately fabricated those lies in search of fame, profit, or something else. Don't jinx me, Paimon. That face. Passed away 30 years ago. Yada yada. Should we go see her then? Don't worry, she was in charge of the paper at the time. I don't think your Pharisee is a bad person. So rest me outside the paper tomorrow morning. And that's as far as we can go with that, because it means tomorrow, IRL tomorrow. Got it. Alright, then we're not continuing that quest anymore. But the mystery deepens. Let's go to the Narzuzenkreuz. We can at least make a start on this. Yep, and here's all the other Narzuzenkreuz quests that we've done. Knight Emmy, Paimon, you're back! You bet we are. Have you found anything new in the meantime? Mr. Caterpillar and I have been doing some research. Oh, and? We discovered that Seymour doesn't, in fact, have an annihilation mode. So his Primo Gem Grind was the first poorly constructed team they have. Following data, fragment sorting. The phrase was found to have been derived from the novel Prisoner 6 Overrun. In that book, the World Organization launched a mass annihilation agent to hunt a chimera down. Apart from using our free time to go out and investigate, we also read through the books collected here one more time. We couldn't make heads or tails of them at first, and even now, well, they certainly are well written. I don't know whose handwriting it is, or what scribe or copyist was hired, but their penmanship was clear and clearly beautiful. A master of calligraphy if I ever saw one. Alright, so you're talking about the handwriting? Paimon's got a bad feeling about this already. Did you not find anything during this time then? Alright, sorry. I shan't suggest any further. As you know... we told you all that we found what we found the last time without holding anything back. However, I fear that this time there are some clues hidden in the details that we must rely on chance to reveal. Were there meanings, you mean? Indeed. For example, if no further relations concerning a murder emerged, then the blood on a painting will always remain a red smear. Then what would this chance be, Caterpillar? As I bought my mic by accident. Well, then we have a recap of everything we discovered. With some deductions regarding what happened in the past, it might give us an opportunity to fill in the gaps to help us support or refute our views. It's a good idea. I've always felt there's so much about this is familiar, but I can't recall anything about it. Negative. I can give a continuous amount of resources that I have sorted. Silly dog, don't you only recover your creator's name Didn't you only recover your crate's name after talking to us about the matter? No, it was negative. I merely matched several similar sounds during said interrogation. There was no data loss involved. However, I must append that I too find the keyword searches when searching for entries more efficient. So what do we need to discuss? Oh, a teaser, if you would. Referring to a heater. Is that what I mean? So let's start off our deductions with something simple. What is the merry man of the Anaporsis exactly? That merry... Are we back? Is it all sorted? We just had a blip. The person I was meant to protect is Mary Ann, yes, but I have no data regarding the entity of the one who resides within the Anaporsis. We're missing context. GMV for Furina, fair enough. Based on a human, unmodified lifespan, not the same person. The case, 300 years after all. Well, as for Paimon, she ate chicken mushroom skewer this morning. I saw for her. I guess it's my turn. You mentioned before that you encountered oceanid creatures that had a great deal of character. One would say personality, even. Marinated by the gorillas? Oh, fair enough. The precondition for such creatures and their characters is the same. That an intelligent oceanid had already understood their original forms beforehand. So they were the one who willed those creatures into being, Anne. Don't you think that's kind of weird? You know, summoning familiar friends to play house with you for who knows how long and stuff? Well, I didn't do that. Actually, I had to get to know Petit Xiao, Al, and the others first. Well, in that case, let's see what we can deduce from the things we already know. Mary Ann's probably an oceanid. Warm up. Correct. The Odysseys and Anaporsis all point to the powers of the Oceanids, but this is not Miss Anne's doing. All this together means there's another Oceanid in Anaporsis. That's what I suspect. An Oceanid with whom Mary Ann has a close relationship, or perhaps she could even be the princess herself. Say Mary Ann may in fact be Princess Lyris? Yes, Lyris, the Red Empress of the Nazuz and Kreutz Ordo from back then. The Red Empress who loves to take heads. Take heads? You have a vague recollection of something like that? Whoa! But it's not the story about Lyris, rather a fairy tale about someone named Mary Ann. Yes, the taking heads thing is just a metaphor. Lyris is made of pure water and so has the ability to dissolve and extract people's wills. The Nazuz and Kreutz Ordo used her to extract the ego and become holy. Searching for the keyword Lyris has yielded relevant information in my indices. Talking to the Red Empress has reminded me of a few things about Mary Ann. Mull that over for a while first and speak to Mary Ann Seymour. See if the conclusion you reach awakens any new memories. Knight Emmy, I have remembered the name Mary Ann. Do tell. It's familiar to me because it's from a children's story, the same one the Red Empress comes from. The female lead, Liddell, was mistaken for Mary Ann the servant, and Mary Ann never appeared throughout the entire story. Maybe Mary Ann never really existed, except as a figment of someone's dreams. How do you know about this story, Anne? And isn't that a good question? How do I know about it? The memory feels more vivid from those I have the story of the evil dragon Narcissus. Alright. Omitting the standard citation format, reconstruction output the match format report the superiors. Lyris is the registered Oceanid. She is not eligible to become stationed in the waters outside Fontaine, and has become a special source of information for the nation. She was appointed as the director of an orphanage to symbolize the love and affection for the previous Hydro Archon. The orphanage's affairs were mainly managed by its human vice-director. An orphanage director? Then how is it connected to the Nazuz and Kreutz Ordo? As director, Lyris was very affectionate towards her children and quite devoted to them, but her intelligence amongst Oceanids was below average. She wasn't very good at working out the cause and effect of things, nor could she even count. As a result, she was not qualified to perform covert investigations. Cats can't count, they pick up their kittens one by one and keep going back until they see there aren't any kittens left. Aww, the orphanage was destroyed during the calamity, and official records will stop there. They say she failed to to understand the link between the disaster and orphans fleeing and her own conduct, and so she wanders the ruins, drowning in guilt and expectation. I have an underwater locomotion module once Marianne and I dove down to the ruins of the orphanage, whose coordinates were the same as those in Anaporsis. There, we found an Oceanid swimming sadly in circles. When she next appeared in the records, she was a core member of the Narzuzenkreuz Ordo and the subject of a high-priority arrest warrant. She doesn't seem like a bad person. Considering that she may be connected to An, she must have been tricked. Of noting, the orphanage name was the Narzuzenkreuz Institute. They were all Marichus Phantom files that Mr. Alan Guillotin recorded from testing light sensitivity while designing me. The output is via my image-to-text-to-speech module. According to the eyewitness testimony regarding who I suspect to be Lyris, there shouldn't be any problems. You may have heard of this elsewhere, but it's worth mentioning again. Aline and Mary Ann were orphans in the care of the Narzuzenkreuz Institute before the Marchus hunter, Emmanuel Guillotin, took them in. Thank you, Seymour. Sounds like you've changed a lot to be met in the fortress, Caterpillar. Would a 5-year-old child and a 15-year-old teenager be the same? Perhaps returning here simply reminded me of the past and who I used to be. Time is frozen in the fortress. Being locked up here for a day or 100 years, I'm afraid that made no difference to me. Nanana is what made time flow for me. Watching her grow reminded of the time that time still passed, and life is still being born, shining brilliantly, and then being extinguished. So I changed as well. That said, my past self, the person I was before I met her, would certainly be more helpful than Ann and Seymour in her current situation. That's true. Don't be like that, Paimon. Just think about it. Making up stories for Lenore was something more than putting such ways of thinking to good use. Regardless, it's nothing to do with the current situation. Do you have any questions? Since you have your own suspicions about Anna and Lyris' relationship, we have topics of discussion that can be used to refute or sustain those conjectures. How do Oceanids reproduce? Explain to me the birds and the bees. I'm sure you have friends more knowledgeable than I am regarding that. Perhaps you can even find scholars in natural philosophy who've dedicated research to that question. Or you could have asked the Oceanids who you know personally, but you asked me. Of course, you know what that means. This is your speculation, I see. In info, Emmy mentioned that Anne is the person in Mary Ann's dream. I mean, a manifestation made by Mary Ann, an Oceanid. Oceanid, why repetition? Are you trying to make it sound cuter? Apologies, perhaps my description was ill done. Still, can an Oceanid create an Oceanid creature version of an Oceanid? Wow, that's deep. That's like asking if hard candles can be used as a filler for another hard candy. Or hard candies, sorry. When you say that, the question is interesting, but Paimon's already hungry for answers. That's how deep the rabbit hole goes. Let me explain. You might be confused as to why there are Oceanid creatures' personalities in the Anaporsis. If Oceanids can create Oceanid creatures, then they can create Oceanid humans or Oceanid Oceanids. Convention dictates that it's rare for Oceanids to be able to mimic a human, unless the human drowns in their arms, or an Oceanid has spent extensive time with the person and knows everything about them. And the Oceanid in question must have tremendous wisdom and compassion. I'm afraid perhaps only one as powerful as Riodia could do it. And that means Idia must be incredibly strong. It's rare to mimic humans, but not impossible. Now, creating another Oceanid, that's different. Creating humans using human knowledge can only be achieved by gods, and the same applies to Oceanids creating Oceanids. It usually should be impossible, in this world at least. Unless this human or Oceanid has already placed themselves above their own kind, and attempted such insanity. You mean they thought they'd become a god? That's right. Followers blindly believe in their leaders, who in turn believe in themselves, giving a rise to delirium and delusions. I can do what a god can do. Their deeds are not that great after all. A powerful belief is also a powerful will, and magic is a skill that molds reality to your will. As Marianne doesn't consider an Oceanid type? Perhaps. It's possible and quite understandable too. If nothing else, the Lyris I know doesn't have this kind of intelligence, nor will she be this crazy. I have some less mainstream ideas about the Oceanid reproduce, but they're not important, so we can discuss them later. Alright, let's reorganize everything. So, Alan's younger sister, Mary Ann, the Anaporsis is Mary Ann, and the Red Empress Lyris, and the Ann who's with us. What does our conclusion be? How we sustain it? How should we refute it? Is there anything else you feel we should add? As I mentioned before, Mary Ann is not only the princess in Anne's story, but she is also the person I must protect. She is the younger sister of Anne Guillotin, the one who designed me, 4ECV07. As for the matter concerning me, I suppose you already know all about them, Knight Emmy. Speaking of which, did we also get all sorts of stuff when we was in the Alinus? Seymour was also damaged during that time. How did it go? Can you think of anything? Seymour's inside Alinus, and Mamere's been taking care of him. Those emotions, you can see I'm having lowered my assessment of myself. And it's, according to Alinus, the battles occurred within his body ended quite terribly. Evidently, that was the battle that damaged you, and it was an incredibly fierce one, but considering that you were damaged, then your master might have been... Common sense dictates that the fate of the Marianne Guillotine, sister of Elaine Guillotine, was most likely a grim one. But this world is full of tales of local knights who exchanged their lives for a miracle, so you didn't grieve too much, Seymour. That's what we made a pure shot. But your master Marianne was no ordinary human being, wasn't she? And at the time she passed, since then, further surpasses the lifespan of any human. How'd it go? Do you think of anything? Oh, my throat is super going. After this conversation's fully done, I might genuinely wrap up because I am starting to really feel it. My throat is really going. And I don't want to push my luck. It's a shame, so I won't be able to finish it, but you can at least see where it's going. What we're investigating, so you can maybe encourage you guys to look into it as well, because it's an interesting quest line. She was an important figurehead in Narzuzenkreuz's Ordo, and she was also the other Oceanid involved to take part in Miss Anne. Only one of the only two Oceanids. We must also agree that believe it must be an Oceanid from Anaporsis. You're pushing it to begin with. Bakayoro. But when I woke up this morning, there was a little bit of runny nose, but it was mostly in my throat. But it's starting to manifest. Like, I'm just like, I'm feeling sluggish. Like, I've not got a headache. I'm just feeling like, ugh, you know, when like, everything feels harder. And I should probably take that on the head and take that for what it is. And now my throat's getting a bit sharper. Seymour mentioned that intelligence was quite limited, so phantoms of this sort would be quite hard for her. Similar to how an author would struggle to write a character more intelligent than themselves. Preach. I try and write a smart character, I'm like, well, fuck. Fairy tales, the kitten may dream of their living little master, but I fear things don't happen in real life. What about me again? We once suspected that you might be the person that Marianne dreamed of. So, if in your view, Marianne is the Oceanid behind the curtain, yes? I don't know. Collab story? On what? You mean on this? No, I'm good. Oh, with writing? No. I keep all my writing with me. I want writing one. Nah. I honestly wouldn't, and that like it's entirely a me thing when it comes to writing. Writing is a me thing and me thing alone. Like I very much like I put everything I can into it and write what it is, but it's mine. You know. I'm a little like not protective, but I'm a little like that with like everything I've got off my own back. I want to keep it that way. I appreciate the offer though, but I'm fine, thank you. That's what goes, yeah. I tend to, instead of writing elegant characters, write cunning and sharp characters. Like not someone who's like book smarts that knows all the secrets of the what universe, just someone who knows how to get by and pays attention to their surroundings. Because I can do that. If I'm gonna do those sort of characters. And then all you need to do is sprinkle in a little bit of arrogance, and then there you go. You've got like a smart arsehole. Mary Ann, that makes up her our prime suspect then. To be honest, we were using the process of elimination. You actually already guessed as much long ago. I don't want to disrespect Anne though. You're right. That vision is still in your heart. Your own interpretation, yes? If that's the case, we should go find that Mary Ann and see for ourselves. Please permit me to change the topic for a moment. Does this mean I shall no longer be able to fulfill my orders to protect Mary Ann? Academic field? Yeah, fair enough. What you care about? It'd be cruel, but the moment we discovered that the Guillotine siblings were from centuries ago, it was probably inevitable. Correction. So the conclusion would be that it was my incompetence that exposed Mary Ann to danger. Do not blame yourself. You have fought to the point of destruction. You have done your part. Don't be so pessimistic either.
though it's an odd thing to say to a machine. Yeah, it's like pouring Fonso into a sink and saying, "Sink, you'll get fat if you keep drinking like this." Paimon, interesting analysis. Oh, 4AC V0707. Can't believe you remembered that. What is it, Mr. Caterpillar? Why use my government name? We may not have reached any conclusions, but we now know what to do next. Look, there is a Mary Ann in Anaporsis too. She is also the close link to the Narzuzenkreuz Ordo. My long-term memory module confirms this. As such, there's no need to restore your logic module to factory settings yet to take a step back. We can still go and find this Mary Ann. Thank you for your logical troubleshooting and emotional adaptive maintenance. I think what you said makes sense. It's not time to admit defeat and restore myself to my initial settings in order to take on a new mission. That's right, you silly doggy. Let's leave things for a while, and then once you're ready, we can continue. When we go find this Mary Ann, we can solve it there. So we're heading over to that direction, huh? Yeah, we're heading down into the Anaporsis. Alright, I will do that in my spare time, though, because my throat is killing me. Let me head back to the city. Because it's going to be my last 4.2 stream. Next time I stream Genshin will be when Navia's quest drops in 4.3. So, in about 5 weeks' time-ish.
The show begins.
But, sorry, now I'm done fucking around. To kind of give my final thoughts on 4.2, if it hasn't been obvious already, I genuinely love this update. I love Furina as a playable character. I love her story quest. I love the new region to explore. Like, Fontaine is still my favorite, area in the game to explore. I need to get 100% in this and the Mort's region, but I'll get that in time. Well, I've 100%ed Erinys Forest. It's just the Court of Fontaine is kind of awkward with its treasures and loots. Well, I've still got a few other little bits and bobs to do, but as a whole, yeah, this region has been fantastic. I've really enjoyed everything about it. We're still not done with Fontaine as a region, because there's still Western, sorry, I know my East and West. Western Fontaine that we haven't gone and explored yet. That's not available yet. That's coming in a later update. I don't know exactly when. I imagine similar to Sumeru, it'll be every other update now moving forward, since all the main story's done, so it'll be like 4.4. Oh, also, little thing, I learned this has a hitbox. That little blast effect actually has a hitbox, so you can combo into it and still hit the enemy and carry on. You're a SpongeBob fan. Where's this Weast for you? Oh, East! I thought you said Weast! I love that stupid fucking joke. But yeah, we'll be back. But tomorrow I can bring up the schedule now whilst I'm at it before I wrap up. Tomorrow I am taking off, more so just for my health, just to make sure everything gets better and whatnot. Wednesday I'll be back on Star Rail. Thursday and Friday will be Crymachina. Saturday will be more Star Rail. I'm doing 2 Crymachina streams in a row to try and make up for me not doing it last weekend when I planned to. And then I'll be taking Sunday off. And then after that, I'm going try to have... my schedule is going to be changing because I want to figure things out. But my work schedule, you know, the real life job I do, has changed. So I want to kind of change my schedule a little to accommodate. It will still probably be 2 days off. It's just what those 2 days are might be different. But I haven't finalized anything yet. But obviously I'll let you guys know once I've decided. Because Mondays, although today's the exception because I'm just unwell, I'm no longer doing Monday shifts. So these streams can get away with being longer. So I can have Monday be a longer day for streams. And so I might take Tuesday off because Wednesday can be a longer day for streams as well instead. But I might also keep Wednesday as a day I take off. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of things I'm still figuring out with it. But I will let you guys know once I come to a conclusion. But I digress. Thank you all so much for watching. Apologies for my health and my throat being the way it is, basically cutting this stream short as a result. But we'll be back on Wednesday
for Honkai Star Rail, which will be perfect because it will be alongside the launch of 1.5. So there'll be a few new quality of lives and other changes that we'll get to mess around with as we work our way through the story quests and whatnot. But until then, if you get a shit-eating grin, I will see you guys next time. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already, it genuinely really helps this little channel grow. Additionally, you can find my Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal in the description of every single video. But until next time, you guys take care now. Peace.